for rigging, lifting, and hauling products.
For many families, the stress of divorce can throw your life out of balance. The loss of a relationship, ongoing conflict, mounting legal bills, and uncertainty about the future can feel overwhelming. Hi, I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. At Fairway, our team helps you restore balance through mediation, negotiation, and the unique process. With 2 offices in Edmonton dedicated to serving your needs, our goal is simple: to help you navigate a path back, peace, and clarity. Visit us today.
Commissioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, is this Friday at 9 a.m.
Another gem for Kate Cunningham. 20
flips, man lifts, packers, low retainers, skid steers, jump handles, turf mowers, commercial trailers, and more. Info at maauctions.com.
It's here. The Ford, it's a big not yet. The Ford, it's a big deal. Clearance package from $237 0% APR for 36 months with $54.90 down. Like
Another gem for Kate Cunningham. 23 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds. A beautiful move.
Commissioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Industrial Auction is this Friday at 9 a.m. featuring Japa Equipment Rentals realignment with 5 2022 to 2020 CMT 250U, 360U, and 400U. Search Japa at maauctions.com.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
Tim's Smile Cookie is almost here. And with every bite, you'll help make a difference close to home because 100% is donated to over 600 local charities and community groups. Buy your Tim's Smile Cookies April 27th to May 3rd at participating restaurants in Canada for a limited time.
Jason Gregor Show.
Trying to take Lacombe into the boards. Lacombe will pick up his stick. In the meantime, the puck stolen by Captain. Tries a hit from behind by Kalorn. Shrugged them off. Shoveled it out. Phoenix Rocks.
On Sports 1440.
Another gem for Kate Cunningham. 23 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds, and a beautiful move. Kate Cunningham doing it all. That's one of the nastiest inside-out dribbles I've seen all year.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Kalorn didn't realize he keeps it on. Ross Levinsky. It's John Sabinsky. The first puck he set into the net in the NHL.
Connor Halley never disappoints with his musical selections. Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. And we got lots and lots to discuss today as the Edmonton Oilers and the Anaheim Ducks series is tied 1 game apiece. For some, the sky is falling. I think that might be a tad premature. we could get into a lot of things and look at, okay, here's the reason for this, or here's the reason why they're losing. It's this guy's fault and it's that guy's fault. But I see a lot of people trying to blame the head coach who's getting out-coached. Well, the Oilers have outshot the Ducks 57-42, 5-5. They've outscored them 8-4, and their best offensive player has no points, and they've outscored them 8-4. And some will say they've been outcoached. And I'm like, what? How can you possibly think that? I don't get it. Unless you believe that the head coach was coaching his power play to have one of the most ghastly turnovers that I can recall in a long time. There was no rhyme or reason for that giveaway at that time of the game. None. Zilch. Zero. None. No reason for it. You can't defend it. Like, it's okay. And I understand Connor McDavid's going to get a lot of leeway from some people. I understand it. He's a dominant player. So I totally get it. But two things can happen at the same time. Connor McDavid can be a dominant player who did not have a very good game, who is clearly right now putting too much pressure on himself. He's forcing plays that normally we wouldn't see him force. And when your player who plays the most minutes does that, it's going to impact the game. And right now, it's not impacting it positive. Now, the Oilers power play, I hear a lot of, they got to simplify. The Oilers had 9 shots in the power play last night. 9. They had some good looks. They didn't finish. Yes, there's a few times zone entries weren't great. At the end of the day, you still had 9 shots in the power play. They're averaging more shots per 60 in the power play than they did in the regular season. It's not going. But the giveaway goal cannot happen. It can't happen. Connor Murphy just makes it 3-2. You're excited. And then that goal, like, I could see if maybe you're trying to make a dangerous play in the offensive zone, like, oh, geez, if I just thread the needle right here, we're going to have a guy wide open, through the slot, and you give up a breakaway the other way. Okay, didn't like it, but you'd be like, hey, you can make a smarter play. The play on that goal, there's just no defending it, right? Why do you just throw? There's no one there. You threw the puck to an area where there was no one. And essentially, that's what's called panicking. And you don't see it very often from the Oilers power play. And you don't see it very often from Connor McDavid. But Connor McDavid, if you watched the game last night, and the coach said it afterwards, hey, you know what? He's putting too much pressure on himself. And like, what else are you going to do at this point as a coach? Are you honestly 2 games into the playoffs? If anybody out there has coached, and none of you have coached at the pro, well, not none. I'm sure there might be a pro coach listening. Your best players need to know that the coach has their back when the chips are down. It's easy to play guys when things are going well. Coaching when things are going bad now, it's a lot more psychological. And you have to find a way to get McDavid to just exhale. Just breathe. Be like, Connor, we know you're skilled. You don't have to force passes. Just hold on to it. I give the Ducks credit. They're in some good areas, but they weren't in a good area on that goal. Make no mistake. There was you want to dump that anywhere, just dump it behind your net. Then you go and regroup. You don't dump across ice to no one. No one. And that was the difference in the game. Now they're penalty kill. We go through the goals. The Cutter Gauthier goal, little bit of a layered screen, but I look at Ingram, glide across. You got to fight hard enough to get around the screen. Sometimes you're going to have screenshots going, and I love it. It's not a terrible goal, but I don't love the goal. But the Killorn goal, if you watch it, it starts on the board. Szymanski's in a great position. And the Oilers, and Ekholm pushes up because they're going to win that battle. They lose the battle. Now it comes down to Killorn in the corner. He goes and then he's looking to pass across the crease. Low crease. And Bouchard knocks it down. Unfortunately, knocks it down. It goes off of the pad of Ingram, right back to Killorn, easy rebound. That's not a systemic breakdown. That's not where you're like, oh, look, they found a way to penetrate a weakness on the Oilers. Well, they didn't. It started with simply a lost battle up top. And I told people before who fall in love with players, sometimes based solely on goals and solely on analytics, said they're going to miss Adam Henrique. There was a reason why Adam Henrique was in game one. Adam Henrique is a good penalty killer. He's a veteran player. He might not be flashy, might not score you a lot of goals. As I've said time and time again, scoring goals isn't the Oilers' problem. And if anything, that has been shown even more, the fact that they've got 8 goals 5-on-5 in 2 games. The next closest is 5. Scoring goals, not a problem. Not a problem. They got to limit some goals, yes. And their penalty kill, they missed Henry. I can't guarantee if he would have won the faceoff. I can't guarantee in game one. But maybe he doesn't lose it cleanly and they score 5 seconds later. That battle up at the blue line, the one thing I said, I love Szymanski's game, but there's times where you got to be stronger on the puck. He scored a great goal, unbelievable. But even then, even though you lose a battle, you lose battles in the game. No one wins every battle. You get a little bit unlucky of a pass across the crease. So the Oilers are in a series. It's 1-1. This is not the skies falling. And any claims that Anaheim is outplaying the Oilers based on what? Their special teams are better. But I'm not even like Anaheim's penalty kill on that goal didn't really outplay them. It was just a bad decision by the best player in the world. Even the best player in the world is going to have those decisions. So right now, if you're the coach, the last thing you want to do is pile on your best player who has carried you for lots of games. Now's the time where you have to support your best player, right? Get him to relax. Say, hey, man, don't worry about it. Just calm down. Obviously, you're going to have more insight than that. He knows the player. McDavid, he's desperate to win. I understand it. But you can't win a game. You can't win a series on every shift. Sometimes it's the old adage, live to fight another day. There's no play there. Hold on to the puck. Stop trying to force it through the eye of the needle in the offensive zone that's leading to giveaways and turnovers. And not that the Ducks are dominating by any stretch of the imagination. As I've said, 5-on-5, they're not dominating. Like Leon Draisaitl is leading the NHL playoffs in 5-on-5 scoring. But here's my question. Can someone tell me NHL teams who would be up 2-0 in a series where their best player, and I would say their best player and their third best player, have yet to make an appearance in the series? Because Evan Bouchard and Connor McDavid have not played up to their capabilities. Full stop. That's 2 of your best 3 players, right? It's just how it goes. You got to get a, like, Colorado's up in their series. Nathan McKinnon at least has a point, right? He's +2. He's got a point. You can't have your best guys doing nothing. Very rare. Okay, just it's not going to work. Unless maybe your goalie's standing on his head like Wedgwood is. But I look at Edmonton, offensively, if I would have told you, okay, we're 2 games into the series, the Oilers have scored 8 goals 5-on-5, McDavid doesn't have a point, you would have been doing cartwheels. Cartwheels. I've always said scoring goals is not this team's problem. So it would be nice if McDavid and them scored some more, sure. But they got to limit goals. And so, that shorthanded goal, it just cannot happen. There's no reason for it to happen. It cannot happen. They got to have better puck management. And when your power play isn't scoring, even though I thought their power play was better yesterday, Hyman had a really good look. Bouchard had a really good look. Draisaitl had a really good look. They didn't bury it. It's unfortunate. If you keep getting that many shots, keep getting that many looks, if the Ducks keep ripping helmets off the heads of the Edmonton Oilers, eventually you'd think their power play will score. Their penalty kill, being a problem. Your goalie's got to make some saves. No question about it. But you're down Henrique, you're down Dickinson. And so what can the coach do? Now, you could play Draisaitl. He put Draisaitl out there a few defensive zone faceoffs because doesn't have much choice at this state, right? Like you're down 2 center icemen. Connor McDavid was one of your best penalty killers all year. So the fact that he's now moved up into your top 4 penalty kill, and he was only on the ice for 1:49 in the penalty kill, right? I don't think they're overusing him. But when you're down 2 of your top penalty killers, somebody has to step up. You're not just suddenly going to throw Jack Roslovic on the penalty kill, right? So you're limited at times to your options in what you're going to do there. But at the end of the day, for me, we can analyze every different element. I think it comes down very simply that you need your better players to play smarter with the puck. They need better puck management. I don't see Anaheim consistently dominating. Now, the second period, 2 games in a row, long change, they're getting murdered. So they have to improve there. No question. Have to. But I think it's, I know that a lot of people, I got to blame someone to feel better. There's not one player that's cause of this. All right, when people talk about coaching, Quenneville's getting the matchups he wants. Really? So if I would have told you at the start of the series, Connor McDavid's going to play against Anaheim's 4th line the most through 2 games, would you have taken that matchup? Like, do the Ducks have a line that you're scared to play Connor McDavid against? Honestly? Name the line. So, unless you're saying, Knoblock should force him to play against the polling line. Okay. Hasn't really chased matchups a ton. And I'm not sure they needed to. I didn't see McDavid on his heels 5-on-5. Just haven't generated. And a lot of it comes from unforced errors by the Oilers. Their top line has to manage the puck better. The other lines are doing great. They're doing fine. Draisaitl's line, dominant. The Szymanski line gets put together with Roslovic and Savoy. They score a massive goal. Right? Dickinson's line. Even though their underlying numbers weren't great, they scored 2 goals. You'd take it all day. And the top line did score 1 goal finally on a pretty simple play, right? Come behind the net, win a battle, push it back to the point. Hyman goes to the net, redirection goal. Like, that's a play that's hard to defend. Right? Some plays are hard to defend. And if you execute it properly, sometimes you just tip your hat and say, okay, good play by the offense. It's going to happen sometimes at both ends of the ice. So I do think, and I understand it's a passionate market, that the wanting to look everywhere other than the obvious seems strange to me. Special teams has to be better. And a lot of that is more on the execution of the players. The setup of the Oilers power play, they got 9 shots. If you get that many shots, you're going to score. Like, unless you're suggesting the coach should start pulling the best power play in NHL history, the best power play over the last 5 years, the best power play in the league this year, suddenly 2 games in, you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to my second unit because I want to send a message. But people who say that, I question if you've really ever coached at a key moment. Because when the chips are down and things aren't going your way, that's when the coach, his biggest job is more of a psychologist. You got to support your players. And you want have them know, especially when they're generating chances, right? Like, obviously, you can rip on them about the giveaway. Like, what are we doing, guys? This cannot happen. But that's all you can say. You can't hammer it home because it doesn't happen all the time. But that play should not happen, full stop. We all know it. And then you go from there. But I'll be curious, is Dickinson going to play? We know that, like McDavid, I saw him walking out of the room. I talked to him. He was walking in and out of the room. No problem. It looked worse, thankfully, than it ended up being for him. Just got rolled up a little bit on his ankle. And luckily, no damage. Dickinson's a maybe for game 3 or game 4. But regardless who's playing, the Oilers just simply, their top line needs to manage the puck better. And just let the game come to you sometimes. Don't force it. I get the will to win is there. But less can be more. The rest of the lines, keep doing what they're doing. They're fine. Coming up, Landon Ferraro. We got David Owens. Mark Spector will join us before he flies out to Anaheim. We got Nick Kiprios. We got Dennis Bernstein, Cam Tate. Also, Livingston will be by. It's the NFL draft. So we'll talk with that with Cons and Declan and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
It's playoff time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker. Join us for the Titan Supply pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports. The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through lovely Thursday afternoon. Of course, NHL, NBA playoffs continuing on. The Raptors in a must-win situation. They haven't looked great through their first 2 games. Kind of like the Oilers special teams, really. And here's the thing. The Oilers, was there a few unlucky breaks on the special teams? Yeah. You know, Bouchard's clearing attempt. He goes off, he wins, goes in front, hits off of Draisaitl skates, ricochets over to Gauthier on the, that wasn't even shorthanded. That was on the 5th goal. And then you had the other one where, you know, Bouchard stops across pass, goes into Ingram's pad, right back to Killorn, scores. So those weren't like systemic breakdowns, not terrible plays. You know, there are other areas of the game for sure. I think Edmonton can play better. There's no question in my mind. And we will see what they do. The series is far from over. Like, I don't think it's panic city time. I think they can tighten things up. But more importantly, like, puck management in the offensive zone is an area where I think they need to improve. And we'll go in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical, 53 years in business. They become the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with project, service, testing, and solar divisions. Learn more at actionelectrical.net as we are joined by pre- and post-game analyst, also a former NHLer, and does some Canuck stuff on Sportsnet. Landon Ferraro joins us. And Landon, it is now most players aren't at the level of a Connor McDavid, and it's rare when you see it, but I've never seen him fight the puck like he's fighting it in those last two games, and especially in the second half of last night.
Yeah, I think it just shows, though, it doesn't matter if you're the best player in the world when you're not feeling, exactly how you want to, and you try too hard, things don't work, right?
Yeah.
Like, whether you're a fourth liner or McDavid, like, the harder you try sometimes, the worse it gets. And for him, you can, just like every other game, like, you can see his effort. You can see him trying to be that difference maker, but it's bouncing on him a decent amount. He's messing up plays that he just normally doesn't. And to me, it's him trying to win it himself. And, as much as you can appreciate that, this Oiler team has offensive power. Of course it does. But to win, this team's a defensive team, and they need to take care of that side first. The rest of their game flows out of it. And for McDavid, I feel like he sees that it's not going right, and he's going to fix it that shift. And it's just a tough mentality to go about it.
Well, I think it's hard. McDavid's probably never been this frustrated. Maybe, maybe against Florida for a few games, possibly. And like, I look at the power play, and last night the power play actually I thought did a lot better. They didn't finish, but they had 9 shots and they created some really good looks. They just didn't bury any of their looks, and that's part of being on the power play. You got to bury it. But like, McDavid's giveaway on the power play is one that just it doesn't make sense to me, because you're throwing it away cross ice to no one. And a few seconds later, it ends up in the back of your net. So that's not coaching. That to me was kind of the cherry on top of a game of just somebody who right now, as you said, like, when you try to do too much, you end up doing even less. And so now as teammates, as a coach, like, I argue that in the playoffs, part of coaching is more psychologist than anything else. It's just trying to tap into, find a way to get him to exhale and just relax.
For sure. And I agree with that. Like, in playoffs, like, your coach needs to be able to make the right adjustments and all of that. But all of that doesn't matter if your guys aren't playing to their ability and executing, right? Like, you can have the best game plan in the world, but if your guys aren't executing and scoring, it doesn't matter. So you need that to calm down. But you bring up that, that giveaway on the power play that they end up scoring on. And, as nonchalant and, not good that throwaway pass was, it goes right by Nugent Hopkins, and he just assumes someone's behind him. Like, to me, that shows what the issue of the first 2 games, and specifically last night, was just a team that was not focused all the way in on all the right things. Because there was passes all over the place, right? Like, they really struggled to put 2 passes together for a while. Everything was a little bit behind, a little bit in front. Like, everything was just off. And as people talk about the game and you hear it a bunch, is, they got a lot of unlucky bounces, and, you say, like, that one hits Draisaitl and goes that way. But to me, like, lucky and unlucky, there's going to be some stuff in there, but the teams that get the good luck is generally, like, they're on their toes. They're making the plays happen. So when a play does bounce the other way, they're already in motion. They're moving. They're the first on it. That's how it becomes a good bounce, in my eyes, a lot of time, right? Like, if that hits Draisaitl's skate and he's already in motion, well, he grabs it and he moves on. And I'm just throwing that one for him. But across the board, like, you have to work to get your luck and work to be in the right positions. And not that they weren't working hard last night, because they were in a lot of ways, but it just needs to be refocused back into that defensive game plan, because all of that firepower offense comes out of playing solid D and taking away opportunities.
Yeah. We'll see. Obviously, the health of Dickinson will impact some of the possible line combinations. He moved Savoy and Nugent Hopkins and put Szymanski with Roslovic and Savoy, a line that he used earlier in the year, and they obviously scored a huge goal. I'm not touching the Draisaitl line. If you want to put Nugent Hopkins back with Hyman and McDavid, they did actually score a goal when they put them together. So I could see why he would do that. If Dickinson's there, you could play Dickinson with Doc or Frederick, or we'll see kind of what they do. But a lot of this comes down to me, like the power play, I don't have much of an issue with, because I think eventually, like, they get 9 shots, they're going to get some goals. The penalty kill, to me, like, defensively, they're just still giving up too much, right? And that's the bigger problem. We can argue if it's bad luck, a bad bounce, and some of them are, right? Bouchard clears the puck, hits Draisaitl, goes right to Gauthier. It's not a bad play, whatever. But I look at it, you have to tighten up defensively as a group. So what would be your main messaging point on how they tighten up defensively for Game 3?
Honestly, with a lot of it is much like the McDavid side, like, take a breath. And it's so hard. It's playoffs. Like, the energy's through the roof in the building. You want to make the right play every time. And of course, execute and move up the ice. And you feel like you have no time, but there is more time out there. Like, it doesn't just vanish because it's playoffs. Like, there is still time. You got to move your feet and you got to find it. But getting to pucks, closing fast, and then off first puck touch, move it along. Get moving up the ice using your teammates, not as much kind of being stuck on the wall, the chips, the moving on to it. I think that they can break through Anaheim in a lot of ways through the middle of the ice. Like, force those young kids to make the right reads every single time, right? You're going to catch them. Edmonton has too much skill and speed not to be able to play up through the guts of the ice and make some difficult decisions between F3, like that high centerman generally, and the 2D of Anaheim. Who's got the stretch? Who's taking the wall? Like, put them in situations where they've got to make reads. They've got to make them fast and try and exploit that a little bit. I really think the middle of the ice is the key for Edmonton, if we're not talking just really tightening up defensively, how you started it.
Were you surprised that there was not a lot of line, like Joel Quenneville, he basically just rolled his lines for the most part. Game 1, Washi played 6 minutes against McDavid. Carlson played 5 minutes each game, which usually, you see top lines go top lines. But if I'd have told you at the start of the series that McDavid would get 11 minutes against the Ducks' fourth line that has a defenseman who's playing forward, and Jeffrey Vial, who's never had a reputation of being a great defensive player, and a rookie in Tim Washi, a young guy in Tim Washi, that you'd be like, I'll take that all day long. And the Oilers simply haven't been able to take advantage of it. That's why I don't buy into Knoblock getting out coached in this series. Do you?
No, like, you can, again, I think I go back to you can have the best game plan in the world if the guys aren't executing, and especially on the defensive side of the puck. Like, it doesn't matter what Knoblock says, what things he tinkers with, like, and it's so much of the conversation that we've had through the regular season and over past years of, like, as frustrating as this is, and everyone wants to tinker and move things around. Like, the Oilers just need to decide we're done playing and letting those guys and letting Anaheim just kind of freewheel around. Quenneville hasn't had to try and figure out matchups because they haven't been put in a situation where they feel like, okay, we have zero offense happening. We need to try and find a way to get Carlson away. Like, the way that Edmonton's playing the first 2 games, it's really in Anaheim's favor of more of that freewheel. It's all the things we talked about before, that if you clamp down on Anaheim, that's where it's going to get tough. They're going to have to make decisions and make plays through a tough, hard defense and then transition out of it. So again, like, it's one of those things to me where Edmonton just individually need to take that one more step of intensity. And when everyone takes that one step, the team will be fine. And like, honestly, like, I really do think Game 3 is Edmonton coming out. I feel like you've talked about the power play. They've got their chances. Draisaitl's just played 2 games and now he's back into it. Like, I expect their power play to get 1, possibly 2 next game and really kind of open it up that way. Like, they're not going to handle I don't want to say it's because it's not an embarrassment of a loss by any means, but for how Edmonton can play and know they can play, that's not going to sit well with how that loss happened.
Yeah. Well, I love what you said. Hey, they got to commit defensively, but also they got to manage the puck better. Like, they're forcing some passes, and then other times, even when they've got time and space and guys open, they're putting the pass ahead of the guy. They're putting it in his feet, not right on the tape. And that's just puck management and awareness that needs to be better. Like, it's got to reel in, because there's times when they have good rush opportunities and they're thwarted because they're just missing a pass. Not even when they're pressured.
And honestly, like, I think that all groups in together, right? Like, that's all really, like, it's mental. It's about being sharp. And, the reason I always go back to the defense, especially, like, more with Edmonton almost than like a lot of other teams, is when their team defense is dialed in and they're really kind of, they're stingy in the neutral zone. They're tough to get into the inside and in the offensive zone, or like in the Oilers defensive zone. When they cause that turnover, like, they're sharp. And now that pass is right on the tape in stride, right? It's no different than, you're on a team in minor hockey, and you always heard the coach, when you're standing in line and you got to make that first pass, don't stand still and make it. Get your feet moving. The reason they say that is because as soon as you get your feet moving, you're already more engaged in the play. And now that pass is easier. So if we're talking about the Oilers right now, like, they're not engaged defensively, they're loose. So now they get the puck and they're trying to move up the ice. You can't just flip a switch and now all of a sudden you're on everything and you're as sharp as you can be. So that next pass is off. So it's about tightening up mentally. You can say defensively, because I really do think everything else leads out from that for the Oilers, but it's mentally just across the board, just sharpening up a little bit. And if everyone does that, which I do think they'll do, the game should move. Not going to say they'll blow Anaheim out by any means, but the game should move a lot more into their favor.
Landon Ferraro joins us. Landon, so, the players talk about they go on the road, they feel they're better on the road, and who knows, maybe they are. They've started on the road most of the time, so there's probably some truth to that. If you're Joe Quenneville, now that you have home, do you think there's a matchup he's going to try to push for? Or does he, do they think he keeps going with the Washy-Carlson combination, those two lines against McDavid?
I think so. Like, I really think, like, Quenneville's a lot of a feel coach, right, behind the bench. I feel like he's not someone that's going in with a rigid plan and, this is how it's going. Like, it's very much, this is going well right now. Like, there's no reason to switch it. Like, for him, the adjustments will come when Edmonton forces him to make adjustments. Right now, they haven't forced him to. He's letting his lines roll. He lets those two lines kind of share that responsibility and move it in and out. And again, there's been no time that not only has they not really forced the issue to make him make a decision on how he wants to play that, but like, that fourth line has played really well and generated and spent time in the offensive zone. So again, to me, he's going to let that roll. He's not going to disrupt his motion of play on his bench because he hasn't been put into a position to have to do that yet.
Yeah. I'm just kind of curious to see how it plays out there. If Dickinson is in, it's obviously, I'm assuming Lazar's the guy who comes out, but if Dickinson's in, would you just put him in the middle of Doc and Frederick and keep Szymanski with Roslovic and Savoy, or do you put Szymanski back with Doc and Frederick and put Dickinson with Savoy and Roslovic?
I'd probably leave it for right now, like, to start the game. And if you need to flip those two, even after a few shifts, you're like, you know what, they don't have the same type of feel or fire that Szymanski line did that got the goal last night, then you can flip those two out. But I don't think there's any need to, like, one's not crazy better than the other in a lot of different aspects, right? So they can kind of interchange a little bit and feel that out and see how Dickinson moves at the start of that as well, which is obviously going to be a big part of it.
Well, I'm curious. I don't think the Oilers are in that much trouble. They're in a series. If Connor McDavid continues to struggle offensively, the Oilers aren't going to win. It's basically that's it. Now, he doesn't have to score 3 points a game. He just needs to contribute offensively. a little bit. You do that, and I think the Oilers' chances of winning will go up significantly.
Yeah, I mean, and realistically, like, you take the best player off everyone's team in the playoffs that doesn't produce, like, that team's not going to win, right? Like, that's how teams are built. Your best guys need to be your best guys, and for him, it's not a worry of him turning it on. Like, I think it's for him just kind of taking his seat in his stall and just having that breath and just getting back to letting the game naturally flow for him. Like, that was the most I've seen him, call it, like, overthink a game that I can remember, really. And, just let it go. That one wasn't it. He'll know that, and he knows it, and has watched it and put it behind him. I'm not too worried. And for the Oilers, I was thinking before, like, I was waiting to come on here and about the series, and as crazy as it sounds, like, with this Oiler team, like, I'm not worried until it's like in the last minute and they're down 2 of a game they can get eliminated in, right? Like, to me, this team can turn it on and completely shift your emotion in the narrative of this series in 10 minutes of play. Like, they can turn it on so fast.
Well, it should be fun. It makes for a Friday night excitement, guaranteed. Landon, as always, man, appreciate your time. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
There you go. That's Landon Ferraro. Your thoughts are kind of, if I give you a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not concerned, 10 being concerned, where are you on the state of the Oilers? Or maybe actually, like, where are you on the state of McDavid? Do you think it's just like a 2 game blip and everyone will sit and chuckle, or do you think that this extends? Like, it'd be hard. Now, he has gone 3 games without a point in his career, never in the playoffs, but 3 games in a row in his career before. It's been a few seasons since that happened, so I can't rule it out as a possibility because it has happened before. It's rare, but it has occurred. I've never seen McDavid look as frustrated with the puck as I saw last night. And I don't really believe it was with the Ducks, because I saw him with time and space not being able to complete passes that he normally does. So I give the Ducks some credit, but his minutes, there was no one forward line, because we talk about, the forwards are pressuring him. The minutes were allocated. It was 3 minutes for Poling, 3 minutes for Granlund, 4.5 for Washi, and 5.5 for Carlson. Like, you can't get much more even than that. The Ducks were just rotating lines, and you can't tell me that all of them have suddenly figured out the caramel / McDavid secret. Like, honestly, if you think it's that easy, if it was that easy, why would it have taken a decade? Honestly, why do you think it would take a decade? Or maybe, just maybe, McDavid's just in a very odd funk. That could probably end at any time. Could end the first period of the next game. We'll never know. That's why we'll watch. But I can't get on board with people telling me when it's all 4 lines that suddenly they've all cracked the code to how to slow down McDavid. I'm sorry, I can't buy. 833-401-1440. We'll get your texts. We'll get to, you might need something to take the edge off. We'll tell you about it next. It's Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca.
At Booster Juice, doing good tastes really good too. From now until April 26th, every purchase of a Mood Booster Ball will help support the Community Booster Fund. So while you're enjoying a Mood Booster Ball made with caramel, marshmallows, and peanut butter, you're also supporting athletics, community, and educational initiatives across Canada. Let's fuel healthy communities together. For more information, please visit boosterjuice.com. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action. Edmonton sports leader, Sports 1440.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
Free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
For over 50 years, The Brick has been proudly serving Canada. They love to save you more on everything you need for your home. Save up to 60% off made in Canada sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Find patio sets starting at just $99 and save up to 40% off mattresses. Plus, take 5 years to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Taxes and fees due at purchase, OAC. Visit a Brick near you for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Canadian Tire's Big Spring Tire Sale is back. Save up to 25% on quality tire brands including Continental, Michelin, Motomaster, and Pirelli until May 21st. Conditions apply. Details online.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASV Posey track at emeraldequipment.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2.43, how are you? Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And of course, the Daily Grand. You can get your tickets $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Imagine if you woke up today after losing last night, ka-ching, $1,000. Okay, makes me feel a little bit better. So get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca as it's time for Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Best selection in town. Beer, wine, coolers, cocktails from all over the world. And if you're into non-alcoholic, they got great ones. Both locations, the southeast side, and of course the original on St. Albert Trail and 118th Avenue. As Steve Bizan joins us in studio once again. My man, what are we doing today?
Oh man, we got some exciting stuff today. So we're gonna take a deeper dive here into RTDs, or the ready to drinks. I know we've explored some of them on previous episodes, but this is sort of there's a theme running through all of these ones, and I want to explore it a little bit. So everything in front of you today is over 10% alcohol. So, so we got some big ones, but we go around. We have stuff from the Alberta prairies. We go to Korea, the Caribbean, London. So I think still a lot of people's perception about what coolers and ready to drinks are. There's, over a decade ago, there was all the Mike's Hard Lemonade and the Smirnoff Ices and Breezers, all that sort of, which are still around, but that was the bulk of what you could choose from. A couple of years ago, it was all about the hard seltzers and sort of the low cal stuff. But now we're starting to see these high proof, sort of like real cocktail bar strength, using really good ingredients as kind of being the standard. And that's where the whole category is shifting. So I'm pretty stoked about it.
Yeah. So we got the Cutwater lemon drop martini, which is 11% alcohol, and it includes triple sec.
Yeah. So triple sec, an award-winning vodka goes into making this one. I want to start with Cutwater. I feel like it's a pretty big brand. Probably a lot of the listeners know about Cutwater. It sort of has an interesting backstory. So it was actually started it was an ex-brewer from Ballast Point, which is a really, really good craft brewery in San Diego.
Okay.
So he broke off from brewing and started this distilling project kind of back in 2015. And it just started as a hobby mostly. And he actually wanted quality stuff that he's able to bring on his fishing trip, and there just wasn't anything available in terms of spirits at that time. So he started distilling, and they started canning these cocktails back in 2015, which is way ahead of its time. And so these high proof, really high quality ingredients, and again, just stuff that him and his buddies can bring along on the fishing trip that they really enjoyed. Fast forward several years, the company just grew and got so huge. They got these distribution deals, and now they're everywhere. But so Cutwater sort of set the standard, I feel, in a lot of ways, and this is the benchmark to what these high alcohol RTDs could be. So the Lemon Drop, it's their newest release. Just nice and simple, like little tartness. It's got lemon juice in there, like you said, triple sec, so a little orange.
Well, you can taste it's very clear lemony. Now, I had a Lemon Drop, not the martini one before, but I've had clear water, and it was like a margarita that my friend gave me. I was like, oh man, this is really good. But then I had two of them. I'm like, what's going on here? I had to walk home after two of them because I didn't know there was that much into it. But
I think margaritas get to like 12.5%.
Oh, yeah, it was great. It was 12.5. And I was just like, what is going on? I literally had to walk home. I was like, no, just because I never like to risk it. But it kind of caught me off guard.
You have to approach these with caution too. Yeah, pay attention to the labels.
But it's very smooth.
Very, very smooth, very tasty. Okay, so next one. I'm going to shake this up a little bit. So this is Inversion, which is a company out of Calgary, and they do these nitrogen infused cocktails. So this is their whiskey sour.
And so you're supposed to like this goes against everything in my being to think, hey, guys, give me a can of alcohol. I'm going to shake it, and then we're going to drink it, because usually you would shake it and it's going to spray all over you, and everyone's like, you're a jerk, yada yada yada. But we actually you just took it, now you shook it, and now it's all hazy.
Yeah, it's hazy. It's supposed to replicate, if you like the really good bartenders when they're making classy cocktails and stuff, a lot of times they use egg whites in it to kind of give it that foamy top to it.
Yeah.
So kind of
it actually does that.
Yeah, and it's very it's an ingenious way of doing things, I think. So they pressurize it with nitrogen instead of carbon dioxide, like most of the carbonated beverages. You're supposed to shake it up until you hear the liquid sort of stop shaking. You could sort of hear, and that's the nitrogen sort of infusing through everything. And then when that happens, you could crack it slowly. I cracked it a little quickly there, so I got a little messy. You crack it a little slower and pour it very aggressively. Then you'll get that nice foam on top. And they have a whole range.
It does look like
ones.
The egg whites on top.
Yeah. So this is their flagship one. It's the whiskey sour. So just very simple. It's a barrel aged Alberta whiskey. It's got Angostura bitters in there, a little simple syrup. Just a classic cocktail.
That is really good out of a can.
Super good.
Let me see that can.
Yeah, here's the can here. And we have them in variety packs. So they do a whole bunch of different.
So the classic whiskey sour. If you want to seem classy without having to mix it yourself, this is good. I'd put that on ice.
So smart to do that. Nitrogen infusion. It's quite brilliant. And a cool local Alberta company as well. So,
and that one is 10.8.
10.8. So going from Alberta now, we're going all the way to Korea. So in a lot of ways, I love these green bottle soju. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with them. To me, these are kind of
does it taste like yogurt? Are you serious?
Yeah. So this is it's their yogurt style, which is actually it's probably their most popular one we carry. So in Korean drinking culture, it sort of started back in Korean bars where the bartenders would mix soju, so just the straight spirit, with these little yogurt drinks.
Okay.
They kind of have a little picture of it on the label there.
Yeah.
And so they would just mix it together, and that was a really, really popular drink. And so Chumchurum, which is the company that makes this soju, they decided to make a flavor sort of inspired by that. And these sojus, especially these green bottle ones, have just become so popular, especially among like the 20-somethings, like the Gen Z crowd.
Okay.
This is what they're all drinking right now. And it's in a lot of ways sort of the OG high proof, ready to drink in my books, because we've had these for years and years on the shelf.
All right. And all of a sudden they're popular.
All of a sudden just they're exploding in popularity, and kind of they sit next to all these other, high proof canned cocktails and things, and just getting a lot of traction. But I love the yogurt one, and it's, I think, like sort of the most authentic Korean flavor, because they do a lot of
tastes very I find it has an orange
it's got definitely has an orangey flavor. It's almost like an orange creamsicle.
Yes.
Yeah,
very much so. Yeah, I don't taste the yogurt at all, which I don't mind. I love yogurt, but I don't want to drink it.
Yeah, it just adds that like sort of creamy texture to it. Delicious. Right. Okay, so number 4, we have the Pussers
Killer premium rum cocktail.
Yeah. Now, have you ever had a painkiller cocktail? Have you heard of that before?
No.
So painkiller. It's essentially it's rum, it's dark rum, and they add cream of coconut, pineapple juice, orange juice, just a lot of different tropical flavors. This one has a really cool story. I'll share really quick. So in the British Virgin Islands in the Caribbean, there's this just really off the beaten track obscure island that has a bar set up on the white beaches. It's only accessible by boat. There's no dock there, so you have to anchor the boat, offshore and swim up to the bar. And sailors in the area have been doing this like years and years and years. And so this is where this cocktail was invented, was in this like obscure beach bar that all the British sailors used to go to. So, and it was crafted by the woman that owned the bar, and it's still operating today. And it's a really unique cocktail with a cool history. So Pusser's rum, it's the recipe they use, it's the same recipe they've been using for 300 years with the British Navy. And it's just a classic dark rum, aged 3 years. This one's 12.5%, but you can tell as soon as you smell it, it's just so spirit forward. You smell that rum, but it's just coalesces so nicely with all those tropical juice flavors. And they add a little bit of shaved nutmeg on top of it too, so you have like sort of this sweeter spice character to it. But that is really good, man.
Yeah.
It's
like if you like a rum orange kind of rum pineapple coconut flavor. This is really good.
Yeah, serve this one over ice, and it's delicious. I think we haven't talked about rum too much on the show. I think we got to do like a whole rum.
Dude, I would do it.
Show.
I have some like cold rums that you just keep in freezer. Oh, they're so good. Just drink them on the rocks. I love it.
So good, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so
this might add some pain. I'm not sure. Well, you know what? I could see one of these. Like, that last one is definitely for people who like a little bit more of a sweet.
Yeah, it definitely. It doesn't have that
sure.
same like sort of tartness to balance it. So you could doctor it up if you want a little bit, add a little more lemon juice. But yeah, so go. I know you aren't crazy about the coffee stuff.
15% creamy espresso martini, 1983.
1983, the espresso martini. Espresso martinis are just so popular.
Yeah, people love them. Like, this will be a hard one for me because you know me. I just
it's like the
the smell of it is just like
man. It's like the millennial Red Bull and vodka sort of thing. So it's 1983. It's a reference to when the cocktail was first invented in London at a Soho bar. So as the story goes, a model walked up to the bartender, is like, I want something to wake me up and also mess me up. And so he invented this espresso martini.
Oh, wake me up and mess me up. That's a good line.
They used a bit of different language, but and so it was popular in the 80s, kind of fell out of favor, but now it's so popular again. And this one is a really good example of it, in my opinion.
Like for me, you probably know more. Like I could never get past the taste.
Well, this one's like a cream-based one, so it's a lot sweeter. It's not as coffee forward, but
now we've got like a stubby can.
Little stubby can.
This
is the strongest one.
The Jungle Mai Tai. It's 20%.
20%. It's like 3 cocktails in that little can. So this is an Ontario company. A couple guys, they started this distilling business out of this 100-year-old dairy barn in Prince Edward County, Ontario. And they specialize in these like full bar strength cocktails. Little junk. Yeah, man.
That is thankfully it's got a little orange juice in it.
Yeah, it's got orange juice, pineapple juice, even a little strawberry juice to it.
The first taste was strong. The second one, no problem. Well,
that's what's so dangerous about it.
So Jungle Mai Tai. Yeah, you could have 2 of these and feel like you had 6.
Absolutely.
Really. So pace yourself, boys and girls.
For your buck. And they do like an absinthe sour, which is really interesting. They do an espresso martini.
Now, how much would one of these go for then?
That's like $10 on the shelf.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah. So you think about how much it is to spend on a cocktail when you're out and about. But yeah, this one.
$10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tough economy right now. This might have to become the drink of choice. Now, I could water it down and add a little water to it.
You could serve it on ice. I didn't do that for you today, but
that's okay,
we'll have
buddy.
A little sip.
It's okay. I'm low maintenance. It's all good.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna get Connor to have this for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
See what he does. But
lift our spirits a little bit after
this. You know what? You should have one of the. Every Oiler fan should have one of these in their house for after a frustrating loss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got a group of you together. Say, you know what? We're just all gonna have a shot of it each, and it'll just slowly ease things. Not too much.
The pain a little bit.
Go to bed. You'll be like, you know what? All right, it's a game. frustrating loss, and you move on.
Exactly.
I have to say the painkiller was killer.
Mhm.
The classic whiskey
The
sour.
whiskey sour is so good.
And honestly, this, what's it called?
It's
the chum rum?
Chum churum. Yeah.
Chum churum.
Yeah. It translates loosely to like for the first time in Korean. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
great
That's
coaching.
fitting. For the first time, Connor McDavid was fighting the puck for an entire game.
There
So
you
that
go.
would be fitting.
There you go.
I think to have that right now. So I'd be confident that won't happen for a third game in a row, but I can't say 100%. I can't guarantee it. I would just be confident. So we'll see. Steve, really good mix. I'll let you finish the martini.
I'll take the
because you
espresso
love
martini.
it. You love the espresso martinis.
Thanks, buddy.
Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, you name it, they got over 15,000 vehicles for you to choose from. Your color, your make, your model, they will have. GoAuto.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
3 games in the NHL tonight. Bruins, Sabres, Hurricanes, and Sens, and the Kings and Avs from Los Angeles. In the association, Raptors taking on the Cavaliers. Going to get back into their series. Currently trailing 2 games to none. We've also got the Knicks and the Hawks and the Timberwolves taking on the Nuggets. In the majors right now, Phillies, Cubbies tied at 7 in the top of the 9th. The Padres trail the Rockies 6-4. Diamondbacks, White Sox tied at 1, while the Dodgers have a 3-0 lead over the Giants in the bottom of the 5th. In the AHL tonight, playoffs get going. Condors hosting Coachella Valley in Game 1 just after 8 o'clock. In the NFL draft, it's going 6 o'clock. The Las Vegas Raiders holding the first overall pick, expected to take quarterback Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Colin Livingston in the Cantor Racing Report. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All Star Construction is all about.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Welcome back. We continue on. It is draft day. If you're a National Football League fan, the NFL draft going tonight. The Raiders with the number 1 pick. A lot of people think Mendoza's going there. And then who knows? What are the Jets going to do? I have no idea. And I've been watching the NFL Insider. There doesn't seem to be a real consensus, which is great. Like if I was a GM of a team, I wouldn't leak it out who I'm picking. That's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience for someone who's worked really hard. When you want them to kind of just sit there and be surprised, oh my God, I'm going number 1, I'm going number 2, whatever. So it would be very good. So, hey, Grace, can you repeat all the names? Well, actually, you know what? The easiest thing, just go to SherbrookeLiquor.com, and they have their blog up and it has pictures and the names of all of the stuff that we tried today. And the painkiller was the rum. You had the inversion, the lemon drop martini from Cutwater. The Jungle Mai Tai, 20%. Pace yourself with that one, kids. Be very, very diligent on that one. But it actually tasted really good after the first sip was a little bit woo, and then after that, all right. I like it. It's good. Steve knows his stuff, man. He always brings in a few different ones. So I like it. This would be the Jungle Mai Tai at Specs Deck. Oh my God. I'll say Hammock Girl. She wouldn't have liked it. If you know, you know. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We got a lot of text we're going to get to. You know what I like? And I'm excited about this because I kind of thought it was true. I think a lot of times the vocal minority is indeed the minority. When I ask people what's their concern level, we didn't have many people higher than 5s. They're like, lots 4s and 5s. No one's at a 1 because, hey, it's 1-1 in the series. Anaheim's played well. Don't get me wrong. But it's not like the Oilers have played terrible. 5-on-5, they've outscored them 4-2 every game. You should win. Their special teams is brutal right now. And like their power play's not scoring. At least it showed some signs of life last game, but just that giveaway on the power play can't happen. You cannot make that play. Right? And now I'll just say this. If it was any other player than McDavid or Draisaitl, actually probably just McDavid, because if Draisaitl makes that, people would freak out. Imagine if Bouchard made that play. Oh my God. Like some people literally, somebody might have died because they get so mad. Like you see the redness in their face when they get angry. It might have happened. But it's McDavid. And I get that he gets a benefit of the doubt. He's played very well. But it doesn't discount the play. It wasn't a good play. That can't happen. It's inexcusable. Can't do it. He just needs to take a deep breath. And honestly, I think his coach and teammates now, it's just about Connor McDavid hasn't lost his skill. He hasn't lost his will. He's just right now is fighting. He's trying too hard. It's an odd thing in sports. When you try too hard, well, really sometimes even in life, like I'm guessing if you were an artist, I can't draw to save my life, but if you're an artist and you try to be perfect, it might not end up good. Right? I would guess. I don't know. I'm not an artist. I can barely draw a straight line with a ruler. So I don't know. But like in most things, when you try too hard, it ends up coming back and making it harder for you. So easier said than done. But McDavid, just take a deep breath, exhale. I think his game will come around. Let's get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist who is hiring top man, operators, and more. Go to gsconstruction.ca/careers. Mark Spector. So now, Spector, you sitting in a lounge at the airport right now?
Oh, hang on a second. You're the guy that works out on the rocks one day and has a Sherbrooke Liquor deliver a bunch of booze to him the next day. Holy man. That's a pot call to kettle black.
One of us is smart and one of us isn't. I'm not going to say who. So we'll let people figure it out.
At a gate. Haven't had my first beer of the day yet. So I actually got a rental car waiting for me at the other end, so I got to keep things pretty clean here.
There you go. Now, the Edmonton Oilers last night, Spec, like, hey, obviously it's that's a game you would love to win, but it's fascinating to me that, like, I've watched Connor McDavid for 10 years, and he does things that most mortals can never do. We see it on a time and again basis. I honestly can't recall a game where I saw him fight the puck with errant passes like he did last night. Like, I've literally never seen it before.
And the play dying on his stick in the offensive zone. Like, there were several plays that it got to him, and then Anaheim got the puck and away it went. And that's the rare. I wrote it last night only because I have a bit of a personal rule as a sports writer that says if I go to an event and I see something I've never seen before in my life, you should probably write about it. And I can say to you that I've never seen Connor McDavid struggle with a puck the way he did last night, struggle to make plays, struggle to keep plays alive. And I'm not here to beat up on Connor McDavid. He's still the best player in the world. I bet you my house he's going to get good again real fast here. But that was an anomaly. That was a strange, strange night, man. It was like watching a race car that couldn't get out of first gear, going around the Indy track at 8 miles an hour. Like it was odd and strange and weird. And every Oilers fan was shaking their tooth like, what happened here? What's going on? So yes, very strange.
Yeah. So I don't like it's hard to want to dig deeper on a lot of other elements. Like I do think defensively as a team, they can play better. And they have to. Like I look at offensively, and I've always said this: offense isn't the Oilers' problem. Even with McDavid scoring points, if he doesn't score any points, it's whatever. But it's that giveaway on the power play that was a major part of the game. And so that just to me, it comes down to the team. Everybody needs to be better defensively, including their best players.
Yeah, like remember when the series started, the Oilers said we want to play lower event hockey, we want to play good defensive hockey, and make the Ducks really earn their goals. And the Ducks are more of a high-flying team, and they're more of a 5-4 team. And I think Edmonton wanted to try to play 3-2 hockey. So give the Ducks credit. Like we've watched enough of these series in our market. All our listeners know this. It's like those classic series with LA. They want to play one way, you want to play another way. Now, who gets to dictate how the game gets played, right? That's usually the team that wins. And in this series, through 6 periods, Anaheim's done a lot more dictating. It's been 5-4 hockey pretty much both nights, right, Jay? Like it's not 3-2 hockey, and that means the Ducks are having their way and the Oilers have not succeeded in having their way. It's just simple as that. But in terms of going forward, so what are the positives? The Oilers are 5-on-5. They're scoring 4 a night, so that's pretty positive, right? Their power play, we can see it's coming. It's going to arrive here. The power play is not going to stay bad. They're close. Connor McDavid, they've scored 8 goals in 2 games. Connor McDavid doesn't have a point. I think that's probably going to stop soon, So in my opinion, the Oilers just have to dial it in defensively and start to play some modicum of playoff defense and, be a little stingier. I mean, holy man, they're giving up way too much. And they're not playing well in their own zone. They're giving up 3 goals that Anaheim doesn't have to work that hard for. And that's what's killing them. They're too easy to score on, and we should throw this in. Ingram was no better than average last night, and that's got to change.
Yeah, like he doesn't need to be great, but you got to make one save in a game where you're like, like in game 1, you know what? In the 3rd period, he made 2 key timely saves. They still allowed 3 goals. I don't care how many goals he allows when their offense is going, but you know what? Last night, I didn't love the first goal. To be honest, he slid across a little bit late and got to fight through a screen. Woodley's described that to me numerous times over the years. So as I watched that, I watched the replay. I'm like, okay, because he believes as a goalie, just like there's responsibilities for every player, right? When you're like, I look at the Killorn goal and the Oilers, you have Szymanski and then Ekholm comes to help. You've got the guy pinched along the boards in a good position where you should win the battle. You lose it. It comes loose. Now, is it a little bit unlucky that Killorn's pass, Bouchard knocks it down, which is a good play, but then it bounces back to Killorn, he scores? Yeah, it's a little unlucky, but the play shouldn't have got there. It should have stopped up high.
Play better defensively.
Yes.
Play better defensively. Right.
Yeah. So that's...
sorry, Jay. We're on the phone here. Yes. No, you're right. You described a play where the Oilers get the puck to the right spot. It's a 2-on-1 against the wall. And then they blow the play, and the puck ends up in front of the net and in their net. And, the winning goal, like there's a rebound. Bouchard has, I just looked at the video. Bouchard has it. Yeah, it's right in front of his net, but there's no pressure on him. He's got time to make a play with that puck, but he just backs it towards safety and he rings it off of Draisaitl's leg, goes right to Gauthier, and it's in the net. Like, the one thing about Bouchard that he's got ahead of everybody is a panic level. Like, he never panics, right? He has ice in his veins. And on that play, panic. He had time and he didn't use it. And the puck ends up on Gauthier's stick and it's in the net and you lose a game. So they got to this is a Stanley Cup caliber team that has played on many occasions Stanley Cup caliber defensive hockey. It's time to start to approach that now. You can't just play this style of defensive game and expect to win. Anaheim will eat you alive. They're really good offensively. So they'll get there. And if they don't get there, well, you know what? We'll be watching Anaheim play someone next round, won't we?
Well, if you're Knoblock, he made the change in the game. He switched Savoy and Nugent Hopkins, and he had Szymanski, Roslovic, and Savoy, and they scored a goal. Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and McDavid scored a goal. So the line changes. The line changes worked. That's the part I don't really understand. When he switched them, they worked. So and Dickinson, you can make an argument. Maybe Dickinson comes and he starts with Doc and Frederick, or maybe you switch him and Szymanski. Who knows? We'll see. But I think you're probably going to start the game with Savoy and Roslovic together. What do you think?
Yeah, and sure. I like the way they ended the game. I think you have to look at it in the context, Jason, of through 5 periods or 4 periods, Savoy hadn't been very effective, right? Obviously, McDavid hadn't been very effective. So who are we trying to get going here? We're trying to get 97 going. So why don't we give him back a guy he's played with for 7 years or however long it's been? Let's give him McDavid back. Let's put the band back together with Hyman. And to me, that's what the coach is doing. It's less about Savoy and it's more about McDavid. Is that fair?
Oh, yes, 100%. I saw people saying, "Oh, you got to switch the left winger on his line." And I get it. People love McDavid, but you don't have to blame others. McDavid, who cares who his left winger is? His left winger wasn't forced him to try to thread the needle on every pass.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's hope he's healthy to start with today, and he's these injuries, sometimes you wake up and they feel worse than when you went to bed.
Yeah, no. Today, Knobloch said no. He said it's he feels there's no issue with it. And you were there in the room last night. McDavid was walking. There was no limp at all in and out of the room. And Knobloch said today he sees no ill effects from it afterwards. I think it probably scared him more than anything a little bit. I get it, right? You're a thoroughbred and there's a little tweak there. Oh, my God. But he was walking around fine. He came back. I saw him he was accelerating up the ice. No issue with McDavid. I think, McDavid's issue, and it's so odd to say because this guy has been elite for a decade, but he just had a tough game, right? Even game 1 wasn't like this. Game 2 was a continuation and even more because of just some, I've never seen him throw the puck away in his defensive zone to no one on a power play. I've never seen it before.
No, that was, hey, how do I say it? We've covered when you're Connor McDavid, you get a break. You're as a writer, when I'm watching Connor McDavid and he has a bad game, it doesn't make my copy. When he has 2 bad games, it doesn't make my copy. I'm not here to beat up Connor McDavid from 2 bad games because he has so many good ones. But this was the one night that everybody looked at it, just said, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" It was odd, and I don't think it's going to last, Jay.
Wow, it would be. I don't know many people, if they had to put their money where their mouth was, to wager to say, "Hey, I think that the Connor McDavid struggles are going to continue." Right.
I wouldn't think so. The power play is a key here. I think so. So let's think of ways that even the greatest player in the game could use a boost of confidence. So where's that confidence coming from? Hopefully for his sake, it comes at even strength. He does something great, but more so, this power play needs to get rolling here, right? Somebody needs to put a puck away in the power play. Let's get a little confidence there. Let's start by skating off after a power play with a goal under your belt instead of another, close but no cigar. And that will bleed into the regular, your even strength play, in my opinion. So Hyman said it last night. He says, "Hey, sometimes you just need one to pop. You just need something to go in, and it goes." And the Ducks have a nice power play. It was 23rd in the league this year, Jay. Edmonton's was first. They're not going to continue to win the power play battle throughout this whole series. And again, if they do, and they figure out a way to do that, well, all bets are off.
Yeah, the penalty kill is one area where we can talk about a little unlucky bounce here or there, but whatever. They miss Henrique, there's no question. Not that he would solve every problem, but they do miss him. Throw Dickinson, that's another guy. They're going to need guys on there. What did you make of the Darnell Nurse penalty in the first period? I didn't like his penalty in game 1, but I'm not sold that penalty was even a penalty in game 2.
The one in game 2 was pretty ticky-tack. I didn't think it was much. I watched the replay and thought, sure. I'm not here to carve up the refs. Did it look like a penalty? I suppose. Did it have to get called? Not a chance. The one he took in game 1 was just the referee looks almost like you put the referee in a bad spot. If he doesn't call that play in game one, then the other team's just going to start doing it too. And before you know it, everyone's going to be cross-checking and punching each other. The ref has to make that call. It was a poor play by a veteran player, ended up in his net. But no, I thought he got victimized by a bit of a kinsey call, I would say, in game two. Didn't you?
Yeah, that's people saying bad penalty. I'm like, dude, I didn't think that was even that much of a penalty.
No.
I think I will say that's 2 goals with him in the penalty box, and him and Murphy have been pretty good on the penalty kill together. So, ideally you'd like him out of the box, no question on that. A last one for you, Spec, is the they switched to Anaheim. Do you think Joe Quenneville, he didn't try to get any matchups really? He rotated his lines the way he wanted. And both coaches said it beforehand that they didn't expect there to be hard line matchups, but now the Oilers are on the road. Do you think there's a matchup Quenneville's going to really push for? Or is it it's his defense? He wants his top 2 pair of defense out against McDavid, one or the other, and he splits it pretty even. Sure. But do you think there's a forward line matchup that he's going to do?
Well, did he play Washy against him as much in game 2 as he did in game 1?
Well, Washy played a little bit less than game 1, but he's still he played second most minutes in game 2. Right?
Yeah.
And him and Carlson, it's basically been those 2 lines switching.
Right. So my point to you is this: whatever I'm doing against Connor McDavid right now, I ain't changing it. Right? Whatever my plan is, I just shut out the best player in the world 2 games in a row in the playoffs. So don't think I'm going home with a big new idea or a new plan. Are you kidding me? Doing exactly what I'm doing.
Okay, so you think Carlson and Washy? All right.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll say
don't
this:
change anything, man. How'd you change anything?
Yeah. Well, you're telling me, and Tim Washy. I was looking up his numbers this year. Tim Washy has not been a guy who, in the regular season, was playing against elite players all year long. So I'm telling you, I would take this matchup all day if I'm the Edmonton Oilers. I'm taking it all day long because Tim Washy, you know how many minutes he played against elite players in the regular season? 90 total all year. He played, which was 28% of his minutes. Yet in the playoffs, he's playing this much. Give me that matchup all day long if I'm Chris Knoblock. Anybody out there who's claiming, Knoblock should get him away from him, no offense, you have no clue what you're talking about. You have zero clue to think that Tim freaking Washy is suddenly the guy who has figured out the caramel secret to shut down McDavid. It's so stupid. It's mind-blowing.
Well, it is stupid, but what if he did it for a 3rd night in a row? Then what would you say?
But I don't even know if he did, Spec. Honestly, I watched Tim Washy, it wasn't oh my God, he was in McDavid's hip pocket doing Steve Casper on Wayne Gretzky here.
No, it wasn't. You're right. This was as much McDavid driven as anything. Hey, you know what? We should just quit beating up on Connor. He had a couple of crappy games. He's carried this team for 10 years. So I have full confidence we won't be talking about how bad he was after game 3. And as for Tim Washy, he'll, who knows what happens, but he may just go down in history as a sort of the opposite version of a Chris Kontos, who had the greatest playoff in the world and then never did anything the rest of his life.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Hopefully not for him, a young guy. Hopefully has a good career. We'll see. Spec, fly safe. We'll talk to you from Anaheim tomorrow.
Hey, sounds good, Jake.
It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We will take a quick break. We'll return. We'll get to the oil report. We'll hear from Chris Knoblock. We got Livingston. We'll get your thoughts. We got a lot of texts flying in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You know what? We might even take some phone calls. Some of you got a few people on a vent. Or what are your thoughts on the Oilers? If you got to do one thing for the Oilers for Game 3, what would it be? 833-401-1440.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, There's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Mmm. Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meat, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Welcome to Silent Ice Center, the region's newest hockey and event center in Nisku. Featuring 2 NHL-size ice surfaces, premium seating, private suites, and an electric atmosphere. From elite hockey to major tournaments, concerts, and special events, this is where the action lives. And with Summit Restaurant overlooking the rink, every event is a full experience. Silent Ice Center, built for champions, built for the community. Book your ice, your event, or your next big night at Silent Ice Center. Email booking at silenticecenter.com.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. From the big mall in the west to the Arena District downtown, Edmonton is beautiful. But when I see your lawns, I know one thing's for certain. Weeds are coming. Be proactive and take advantage of our early bird savings until April 30th.
Green Drop has been Canada's lawn expert since 1979. And they're in your community, keeping your yard looking beautiful with affordable lawn care packages that include fertilizer, weed control, drought fighter, and more. Visit greendrop.com.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent and non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
325. Shout it out loud, Oiler fans. Where do you think? Friday night, road game in Anaheim. Oilers have talked about it. They feel comfortable on the road. They've won a lot of road games. Heck, they won both in Vegas last year to start that series. They won lots in Dallas over the years. Los Angeles. Won in Florida when they had to. 1 year. So they can be a good team. Anaheim, that building should be pretty loud. They haven't had the playoffs in Anaheim in 8 years. So you know what? It'll be loud. The Oilers are a veteran team. They've had games that they've lost before where they kind of gave it away. That's not new. So in theory, they should be able to bounce back. The one thing they've learned dating back from Duncan Keith joined the team to then when Corey Perry came in and McDavid and them talked about it is, I know it sounds boring and cliche, but it's true. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. After wins, you can't act like you've won the cup. After a loss, the season isn't over. So we'll see how they bounce back. You know, Anaheim's going to be fired up. They're going to come out. It's the old adage on the road. You want to handle the first 5-10 minutes. Even better if you can get a young team playing from behind early on. That would help. Like the Oilers, they were chasing the game. Basically, the majority of that game last night. And that's not ideal. Right? It just isn't. You know, they got down. Well, Leon did score first, but then it was tied. And after that, so basically, other than 4 minutes of the game, 3 minutes of the game, I got to look back at the time from Gauthier's goal to Draisaitl's goal. Might have been 3 minutes, might have been 4, I can't remember. But other than that, they weren't playing with a lead. They had a lead for, I looked it up now, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. That's it. And Anaheim had a lead for the entire second period and all of the third until Szymanski tied it with 6 minutes to go. And then that only lasted 1 minute and 17 seconds. So Edmonton played with the lead for 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And the game was tied for 1 minute 17 plus 9. So for 10 minutes and 15 seconds. So the Ducks had the lead for the vast majority of the game. And it's easier to play at the lead. We all know that. So Oilers, the Ducks have played from behind in game 1 for a little bit, right? And then Edmonton, obviously, when Kapanen scored with minute 54 left. But they haven't had to chase very often. I think it'd be key for the Oilers to get up and then hold the lead for a little bit longer and just force Anaheim. Everybody takes chances. Even Joel Quenneville outlined it because someone asked him, could you find a way to play how you do when you're trailing or when you're leading compared to when you're trailing? And kind of Chuck goes, when you're trailing, you got to take chances. You don't necessarily want to take chances when you're leading, but maybe the Ducks should. Who knows? Maybe that's what they should do. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg's, any chance Jari gets in if Ingram please playing the way he does? Zayden, I haven't seen Ingram let in a really egregiously bad goal. I had no problem with his playing game 1. Made 2 big saves in the third. Last night, I didn't love the first goal, but after that, I like the Gauthier goal to the go-ahead goal. Nothing on. That's a broken play. Unlucky bounces right to a guy. What can you do there? The Killorn one, same thing. I didn't think there was a real weak goal. So no, I don't think they're close to putting in Tristan Jarry. And I'll just say this. I watched Tristan Jarry again yesterday in the morning skate, and oh my God, he let in 8 straight shots. So no, I don't think it'd be there. And honestly, I'm not sure Pickard's that close either. He hasn't been in the NHL for I'd have to look back, Cons. When was the last time Pickard played an NHL game? Was it late January? Because he got sent down before the break. So I don't know when his last game was. Maybe played one of those 2 games in early February before they sent him down, but I think it's January.
January 8th.
Yeah, January 8th. So we're coming up on 4 months. So I think it's going to be Ingram or bust. And yeah, you'd like another save from Ingram, but I don't think Ingram's been the major problem right now for the Oilers at this point. So. Hey, guys, 833-401-1440, 833-401. I don't like my voice or I'd call in, but I actually don't think the Oilers have played that bad, but I'm surprised at how bad their passing is. Any reason why not just McDavid? It's a good question, Steve. I watched and I started to take note where there were times where the Oilers not under pressure, just a simple breakout. You're coming up the neutral zone. You're looking for the guy on the wall, passes in his skates. And there's no reason, because I know they're all capable of making that pass. They're in the NHL. Like, you're in the top 0.001%, right? Like, they're that good. So why, what happens? I don't know. I think to me, it's between the ears. So I just think the group needs, last night's game, it just, like, the frustration seemed to build. But they still tied it late, and the place went crazy, and you're thinking, okay, Oilers, when Szymanski scored, how many people thought the Oilers were going to come back? Probably more than thought they were going to give up another goal a minute, 20 seconds later, right? Because that's kind of what the Oilers do. It's in their DNA. And I could make an argument that until they remove it from their DNA. Now, no one's going to play great every game. But I don't know if this team, and I shouldn't say that, because last year, for a good stretch of 14 games, from the third game against LA to the end of the Dallas series, I thought they played pretty consistent defensive hockey over that time. They had 3 shutouts, multiple games of 1 goal. They played pretty well. So they can do it. But it's not like a natural thing for them, right? They're an offensive-minded team. They feel they can outscore anyone. And they can, but it's hard to always outscore your problem. If it's a tight scoring game, Edmonton should feel confident. Hey, if we get into a tight scoring, low scoring game, tight checking game with limited scoring chances, we feel confident that we can bury our chances at a higher rate. That would probably be fair for most nights. But you can't always say, hey, we can outscore anybody and we'll just run and gun with them. That's too much of a risk. So they need to tighten it up here. Play how they did without Draisaitl. And trust me, Draisaitl's not the problem. As I mentioned, Draisaitl's leading the NHL playoffs in 5-on-5 scoring. Draisaitl's guys coming off an injury, he's got 4 points. He's been great. That line's been fine. Kapanen, 3 points. Jake Wallman's got 3 points. Podkolzin is up there. Like, 5-on-5 scoring, as I've said for years, is not the issue. And if you could have asked any Oiler fan, no one would have ever bet you that the Oilers through 2 games would have 8 5-on-5 goals and McDavid wouldn't have a point. No one would bet that because he's always a big part of their offense. So their offense isn't a problem. Defensively, they got to be better. Goaltender can make a few saves, no problem. But I'm not putting the loss last night on the goaltender. It's 1 game. I think the Oilers can bounce back. Doesn't guarantee they will, though. That's what's great about the play. That's why you watch. That's why you're intrigued. That's why you're a little nervous. You're like, yeah, I think they'll win, but it's not great. They've got to be a little bit better. No doubt in my mind. Let's hear from head coach Chris Knoblock on the Oilers as we get to the Oil Report, brought to you by GoAuto.ca. Go Auto in your communities. They got 73 different locations. But more importantly, they give back to where they work. $27 million have they donated and given back to various charitable groups. GoAuto.ca. Knoblock was asked about breaking out of their own end. And what is Anaheim doing, or is it more what Edmonton's not doing?
I think there's been a lot more attention to details on both sides, playing better defensive hockey. And I think Anaheim has been pretty wide open with their play through the regular season. And now that being playoffs, I think everyone dialed it in. Same with us, just knowing how important it is to play good defensive hockey. And probably a lot extra attention to playing good defensive hockey when McDavid's on the ice. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to get through that. And so, yeah, I would like a little more us connecting on passes and being able to get some shots off the rush. I think in game one, there was a lot of shot attempts off the rush. Last night, it was pretty tight checking. There wasn't much off the rush for both teams.
Yeah, off the rush, I would agree. Not a ton. That's like 5-on-5. It's not the issue here. Like the numbers back it up for Edmonton. It's not 5-on-5. It's special teams. Penalty kill, power play, not good. Give up just one of the worst giveaways I've ever seen on a power play. Like, it's unbelievable. So now, what about the penalty kill? What can they do to improve it?
Yeah, we're going to find a rhythm with our group right now. Missing Henrique is a big hole for us. Just stabilizes everything. Taking the first face off, everyone set up for the pairs, and hopefully Rico's able to join us sooner than later. But having him missing just takes away the rhythm and just the pairs. So we got to sort those things out. I don't like the first goal against. The second one was off a scrum, and that was a great scoring chance that they had there. But the special teams are usually the factor in a hockey game. And last night, the fact that we're outscored 3 goals on the special teams just makes it so hard to win a hockey game. But I think we've got a lot of good guys who can step up and do that job. We just got to narrow it in and decide who are taking over those responsibilities.
Yeah, so without Henrique, so you've got Savoy. Szymanski played last night, was on ice for both the goals. Against didn't have an impact in the one, but definitely had an impact in the Killorn one, simply because that's a battle where he's in great position. He's right there, and didn't get it, and that allowed the play to continue, and then they score. What about the second period? Because you've given up 3 goals a game. Usually, you want to give up 3 goals a game. You're giving up 3 goals a period in the second period in each of the first 2 games. What has gone wrong in the long change?
I'm not sure. Obviously, in the second period, you can get hemmed in a little bit more. I know in game 1, puck play, breaking it out, we're trying to do stuff that's not there, and we ended up having to defend. Last night, I'm not really sure what was the result, but it's usually second period is a period that we usually excel in. But, it's a short sample size. It's 2 games, 2 periods. But, we want to, have the efforts that we have in the first period and carry those through.
Yeah. And you look at the penalty kill. So what the Ducks haven't had much penalty kill time, but they're getting off way too many shots, right? The Oilers are giving up way too many shots. Now, I know someone would look and say, Gregor, what are you talking about? They only have 10 shots. Yeah, they have 10 shots in 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay, if you do that as a shot rate, and I know it's an extremely small sample size, but it's the best shot rate per 60 in the NHL playoffs at 88. All right, it's ridiculous. Now, if you go to the regular season, is it sustainable? Of course not, but you can't use sustainable as an argument in the playoffs because it's a small sample, and you don't get to wait for the whole year. Now, Edmonton led in the NHL regular season, right? They had the best shot for, so shots for, not a big deal for them, and really in game 2, the Oilers shot 4, they'd have no problem with it, but it was Anaheim has been very good. They don't spend a lot of time on the power play because they're scoring and they're shooting a lot. So Oilers got to try to limit some shots for sure. And I think they got to pressure more, quicker. I think they got a little bit too passive. I'd like to see them be a little bit more assertive to not allow the Ducks to get so many quick shots. That would be my choice. One last one. What about the center ice depth? Obviously, Henrique and Dickinson. Now, you still have Draisaitl, still have McDavid, Nugent Hopkins. I don't know. Is it tested? What does the coach think?
Well, this year, I feel like we've got a lot of options. We've got a lot of center depth. Curtis Lazar is a centerman. Szymanski's centerman. Nuge has been playing more center than he has in the past. So I think we have some options, and I think guys can fill those roles. Obviously, our number 1 and 2 centermen are 97-29. But 3 and 4, obviously we'd like to have Dickinson and Henrique in there, but I think Szymanski's done a great job. He had a great game last night. Lazar can fill that role, and also Nuge. So, I don't think we're weak in that area because I think this year we do have a lot of options that guys can slide into those positions.
Definitely they do. And, we saw, hey, Szymanski, that line worked. Dickinson, like Szymanski's 5-on-5 play was great. It's penalty kill. Like, that's why I sometimes people overlook penalty kill. Oh, it's only a few minutes. It's a few minutes, though, where the rate of goals is massively higher than the rate of goals on 5-on-5. So that's why your penalty kill matters. That's why special teams doesn't matter. No, it matters significantly. Look at last night. 5-on-5, Edmonton outshot him by 9, outscored him 4-2. The majority of the game was played 5-on-5, but the Oilers lost the game. Why? Because they got crushed at 5-on-5. Sorry, on special teams. That's where they got crushed. Penalty kill, power play has to be better. It's the most easy thing to see in this series, and it's got to improve. And now, historically, you would think the power play would get going, but there's no guarantee the penalty kill will improve. That we know. We're talking the best power play over 5 years, the best power play again this year. I don't have concerns with the power play. It's fair to have concerns on the penalty kill because their penalty kill can be massively inconsistent. And right now, it's in a funk. They got to figure it out. Take a break. We'll return. Talk, hey, you know what? Things are coming back. We'll tell you about it next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play.
Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacing, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about. Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Favor. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Favor Focus focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
A long weekend pit stop without a Toyota Prius plug-in hybrid can be hectic. But when you get a Prius plug-in hybrid during Red Tag days, you can take advantage of an estimated combined range of up to 962 kilometers and get there with fewer stops. Take advantage of Red Tag days on now. Eligible customers can receive up to $7,500 in rebates, including a $2,500 federal rebate on select 2026 Prius plug-in hybrid models. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
This May, look for your census letter in the mail. The information you provide helps plan services in your community that support employment, transit, education, healthcare, and more. It's easy to fill out and completely confidential. Find out more at census.gc.ca. Your census, your community, our future. A message from the Government of Canada.
Professional golf is coming to Blackhawk Golf Club this fall. The ATB Classic, presented by Building Trades of Alberta, brings the stars of PGA Tour Americas to you. Enjoy the ATB Fan Zone, presented by Michelob Ultra, where golf meets festival vibes. Upgrade to VIP-covered terrace seating with premium food and beverage options. September 17th to 20th. Tickets start at just $25, and the first 250 buyers receive a PGA Tour Americas commemorative gift. Get yours at atbclassic.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell, helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. Ewell.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:49. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Do they have like a 6-hour pregame show, Connor Halley, for the NFL draft? Is that what's on TV here?
Yeah. They go crazy for the NFL draft.
Like 6 hours of what? What are they talking? Like every player? Are they talking about the Vrabel saga too? Do they mix that in?
They keep that out,
okay.
surprisingly enough. But they've had coaches. Freeman of Notre Dame was there. That Buckeyes head coach. You could have 4 first-round picks. So they do a lot of things. I'm sure there's some. Is it fluff pieces?
Yeah.
They do those great stories. And they do all sorts of things.
Gee, man, the internet sleuths are all over that. I saw the other day on the third. Now they found pictures dating back to 2020. So
9 months before her child was born. She was in Tennessee. And then 4 days after, she tweeted out, "Who's the greatest Michael?" Former player and coach. That's the name of her child.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's the internet sleuth, as you say. They're doing work today.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And now he's skipping day 3 to go to counseling. It's just TMZ here.
Yeah, that's. You think he's going to stay on as the head coach?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's a bit of a distraction. I know just before this all kind of broke, he had a statement to one of his players about being careful what you say and do on social media. And then this all happens. So I'm not sure, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's I didn't want to talk about it at first, but so much has happened. Now it's just he forced our hand.
Yeah. Let's get to the Racing Report, brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com. As Colin Livingston joins us once again. CL, how you doing?
Just loving life here, man. What about yourself?
Oh, it's good, buddy. It is good. The city's a little bit topsy-turvy today. That's what's great, man. We love the emotions of the playoffs. If everybody agreed, it would be pretty darn boring.
How do you like the bandwagon?
Well, you know what? Hey, the great part about it is people jump off, but they jump back on quickly, or vice versa. So it's rarely. I think there's always an open seat. I think that's what people like. There's always an open seat.
I can't say I've watched a game, but this just got thrown on my desk here, so I figured, what the hell not? Throw it on and show a little bit of pride for the city.
I like it. We're getting F1. We'll be back in May. So it's time to, I know you love IndyCar probably better than F1. And, Kyle Kirkwood had a 2-point lead, and but Palou won Long Beach now, and he's up by 17 points. So maybe they'll go back and forth. But you look at Long Beach, which is a track that you actually like. Did the hype live up to the race in your eyes?
No. Honestly, it wasn't the race that I was hoping for. I was glad to see racing again. It's been a long drought with, IndyCar just came off of a 3-week break. They now have another 3-week break before they get ready for the next set of events. But with F1 gone, it was nice to see. I had hoped to catch the IMSA race there. I just didn't get to where I needed to be able to watch it. I was also watching a lot of go-karts, so had to bounce back and forth. I mean, it was a moderately clean race. There wasn't the sensational passes that I was hoping for that we've seen in the past, that some of these guys Will Power, for example, was fast all weekend, had a great overall race until the last pit stop, was running in the top 10, kind of got boxed in as he was leaving the pits, hit one of the crew members from AJ Foyt, which is, aside from being, a serious situation, no driver, it wouldn't matter what the scenario is. They're never going to take a chance like that. But it was just a reactionary thing where Will was kind of pulling out. He thought he was going to hit, I think it was Lundgaard, kind of swerved back. And when he swerved back, he drove over the feet of one of the crew members, resulting in him starting at the back of the field. Again, he'd been quick, but he was following our old buddy Stingray Robb for, my goodness, probably 5, 6, 7 laps, and wasn't able to get past him. It was only through some drivers who would kind of push their tire life and push their fuel mileage that had to come in towards the end of the race that he was able to get up to like 19th. So yeah, I was hoping for more of the sensational, but for the most part, it was a pretty clean race, which is also entertaining in its own way.
Looking at now Ferrari, they had a filming day. Can you explain what filming day is?
So every team has a number of air quote filming days that they're allowed to put their car on track. They're able to run. The intention is for them to be able to shoot essentially B-roll that can be used throughout the year, where they will follow behind a car to show the car from the front, and they'll have a car chase from behind so they can show the rear view of the car. That's kind of the intention. But Ferrari took one of their filming days and turned it into an unofficial test. I think it was actually yesterday. Being able to test all these new components that they've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. I mean, that's one of the things about this 5-week break, is that you're really going to see teams who have done their homework versus teams who maybe just haven't found the solutions. I know every team's working hard, but there's I think when the cars come off the trailer and get on track in Miami in a couple of weeks, it's not going to be the status quo. Mercedes is still probably going to be the fastest on track, but the pecking order, I think, is going to be it's good. I can't tell you who's going to be doing what because I don't have access to that data, but I just don't think it's going to be status quo.
Okay. It's interesting. I was just kind of curious in what filming day would look like. What about the upgrades? They're not going to be formally approved until just before Miami, but what does that mean?
So there's a program that's part of the series now. Like when an engine manufacturer develops their power unit and it gets approved, they're locked. They're, what's considered homologated. They can't change it. They can't upgrade it. They can't do anything, except if they can show that they're between 2 to 4% lacking from what the leaders are, which it seems like Ferrari's qualified. We won't formally know anything until just before Miami, but what that allows the other manufacturers to do, and the intention is to kind of keep the competition a little bit closer, that, we don't have situations like, 2021 where Red Bull ran away with everything because they had an aerodynamic advantage, 2014 when Mercedes really locked onto the turbo hybrid engine. It just gives teams a chance to kind of close the gap. I mean, you can't just, they put so much time, money, and effort into developing these things in the beginning. It's not like you can just say, okay, well, we're going to, take the pistons out, and instead of making them out of, titanium, we're going to make them out of Pistaloy, which is a customized alloy. Like, they've already done all that homework. They just need to find the little bits of little areas to try and improve. But again, they're not allowed to do anything until they get permission under this, the additional development upgrade opportunity program.
Okay. Also, the Sebastian Vettel, basically going as far to say that maybe F1 has kind of lost its DNA, and I'm guessing you agree with him.
100%. I want to be really clear. Like, my objection is that a Formula One car should not be losing speed until it gets to the braking zone. Like, we're seeing, cars top out at, 330 kilometers an hour. And before they hit the brakes, they're slowing down to 270, 260, 250 before they even decelerate, because they've run out of battery power. And this is not, it's not really the intention of how this is supposed to run. I mean, Vettel put it best. He says, the DNA, like the basic operation of the sport is to put the fastest driver in the fastest car. And, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, when Lewis was asking about how to make the overtake, they told him to slow down, to use less throttle in a corner so that he had more battery later on. Like, it's just wacky. It's kind of gimmicky. But for me, the biggest issue is the fact that Formula One doesn't see this new formula as a problem, this set of guidelines. Stefano Domenicali, the CEO of the sport, said everything's great. If that's their belief, and if that's their philosophy, then it really seems like they're trying to move the sport more in the direction of the Drive to Survive fans, who are, I swear I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but they're new fans. They don't have the same education. They don't have the same understanding of what the sport was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And they're trying to move the sport towards more of the sensationalism, instead of going back, understanding that this is probably not the most entertaining form of racing in the world, and to go back to a formula where you can, a driver should just be able to get in the car and drive it. I mean, there's obviously a number of driver aids and things that they do in the car, but you shouldn't have to look away from what you're doing on the racetrack to look down at your display, so you know how much battery power you have left, so you know how, it's just become silly.
Colin, what do you make of the rumors? Dave asked about that Ferrari's building a new engine that has the matching compression ratios as a Mercedes, so they have a better chance to win. Can they even do that?
They can spend their money on whatever they want, and they can try and match the compression trick that it seems like Mercedes has, where they actually increase their compression ratio as the engine gets hot. It's not as simple, like I was saying before. It's not as simple as just changing components. There is a massive amount of engineering that needs to go to it, which really, after they've already developed the car, to go back and redesign to that level is going to be extremely expensive, which will really affect them as it comes down to the budget cap. But they have, I think that they can't wait until the new compression tests are released later on this year so that Mercedes maybe gets scaled back. We won't really know until later on in the year, though.
Okay. Awesome. Colin, enjoy the weekend. And I know enjoy your new hat. Yeah. And maybe you'll wear it on a Friday night for the playoffs. We'll see.
I'm scheduled to watch the game with my daughter on Friday. So, it's I have a hard time saying no to women the best of times, but when it comes to my kiddo, whatever she wants, she tends to get. So this will probably help me, though. It almost sounds like the front of the building's going to come off with the win that we've been getting today.
Oh, dude, is it ever? Imagine racing could you even race in this wind?
You could. It would really suck. You couldn't, in this temperature. No, I've actually done it. It is indescribably uncomfortable.
No, I could imagine. Yeah. I couldn't believe how windy it was. Literally a younger, thinner Gregor might just get blown over today. It's pretty windy out there. So, back in the day when he had all that hair, it could be gone anyway. Well, that's true. It would have been like a 2-page just flapping off. Wouldn't have looked good. Not good at all. So, Colin, have a great day, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, man. Thanks a lot.
There you go. That's Colin Livingston, the Can Torque Racing Report. When we return, we got lots more. We got a lot of good texts coming in at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Lots of ones kind of wondering, hey, what can happen? Others saying, hey, serenity now. It's one game. It's not like the Oilers are down 0-2. He goes, Gregor, I'm listening to people talk all over. It's like the Oilers have lost both games. Steven, McDavid and Bouchard have yet to make an appearance. To me, that's a good thing. From Frank. Frank, you're probably right. See how it goes. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good for professional services you can feel good about. Get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Visit hiregood.ca. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
3 games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Bruins and the Sabres meeting at 5 cents, trying to get back into their series at 5:30 against the Canes. And at 8 o'clock, Avs in LA taking on the Kings, up 2-9. In the association, the Raptors, they'll host the Cavs, tip-off 6. Cleveland leading 2-9. Hawks meet the Knicks at 5, and at 7:30, the Nuggets in Minnesota taking on the Timberwolves. Major League Baseball, 2 games underway. Top of the 9th, the Rockies lead the Padres 8-7. Padres threatening with runners on the corners and no outs, while the White Sox and Diamondbacks tied at 1. Earlier today, Braves over the Nationals 7-2. Brewers fall to the Tigers 5-4. And the Cubbies get past the Phillies in extras 8-7. Later on tonight, Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, Twins, and the Pirates taking on the Rangers. AHL playoffs, Condors hosting Coachella Valley game 1 just after 8 o'clock. And the NFL draft 2 hours away. The Las Vegas Raiders holding the number 1 overall pick, expected to take quarterback Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll get to the stat of the day, ask 5 questions, and be joined by former NHLer Nick Kiprios. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
At Booster Juice, doing good tastes really good too. From now until April 26th, every purchase of a Mood Booster Ball will help support the Community Booster Fund. So while you're enjoying a Mood Booster Ball made with caramel, marshmallows, and peanut butter, you're also supporting athletics, community, and educational initiatives across Canada. Let's fuel healthy communities together.
Have a great day, buddy. We'll talk to you.
Please visit boosterjuice.com. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure,
National
no awkward
football.
convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
as we all try to figure out when winter will actually stop and spring will finally be here for the season, GS Construction moves ahead with their plans for the year. From planning and digging to laying out underground infrastructure, construction season is limited, so we make every day count. And that's why GS Construction counts on our team to get the job done right. Crews are getting back in action across the city, and we'd like you to join us. We're looking for experienced top men, pipe layers, operators, and surveyors. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every Edmonton playoff game for the Legacy Heating and Cooling postgame show. Visit the experts at legacyheating.ca.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers The Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
This May, look for your census letter in the mail. The information you provide helps plan services in your community that support employment, transit, education, healthcare, and more. It's easy to fill out and completely confidential. Find out more at census.gc.ca. Your census, your community, our future. A message from the Government of Canada.
What is this? A Mowing a Giant sale sign. It's for Canadian Tire's spring big red sale. I think they meant like big savings, not this.
Save up to 50% at Canadian Tire's spring big red sale, April 23rd to 30th. Exclusions apply. Details online.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth WE football coverage, elksnation.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
After 4 o'clock, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It's the Gregor Show presented by playalberta.ca. The Daily Grand, our favorite game we've never won, but like to still play because eventually it's going to have $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. $7.3 million. You can get in at playalberta.ca. Also, we got a little NHL Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials. LA Kings. Could there be more than 3 goals tonight in that series? Dare to dream. Kings, I feel like they can win 1 game in this series. I think it might be tonight. So, go with that one. Also, the Raptors, pretty much a must-win game for the Raptors. Let's not kid ourselves here. They need a win desperately tonight. And we got a very specific goal in the Ottawa-Carolina game. So you can check that out as well. playalberta.ca. Man, someone's eating something good here. It smells great in the studio. Oof, nice. Hey, boys, speaking of wind, man, I drove to Three Hills today. The big trucks were swaying. Oh, you want to talk about stressful jobs? There's a lot. I'm sure people text in, like, what's a stressful job at different times? Like a brain surgeon, to me, stressful job. Okay? That's pretty stressful. But driving one of those big rigs when the wind is just howling like that and you feel it swaying, like, man, you're white knuckling it all the way. Brutal. It's like, and most of us have done it in the dead of winter here, where you're driving, it's that icy conditions and you're just holding you're a little stressed. You just feel, you get to your destination, your neck is tight and your shoulders are tight. Man, I'm driving one of those big rigs in the wind like this. That's gotta be a stressful one for sure. I would think. So we'll see where it goes. Hey guys, it's just one game. The Oilers are always a little slow to start. They play better when their backs are up against the wall. That one comes from Michael G. Hey, Greg's, Bouchard had a 5-star giveaway in game 1. I thought he was much better in game 2. Then McDavid, 5-star giveaway yesterday. Multiples, that won't continue. Hopefully the power play picks up and we'll continue our strong 5-on-5 play. Not too concerned. From Jerry. Hey, guys, that shorty was what annoyed me the most. It was inexcusable. Anaheim was reeling a bit. We just scored. We were building momentum. It felt like the Ducks were poking the bear. From Stu B. I agree. Right? Like some of the timeliness of, and that's what's so great about the playoffs, the momentum swings. Just when you think you have it, like when the Oilers tied, the building's going crazy. Lose a face-off clean, point shot. I know there are some people suggesting that, Draisaitl didn't know where he's going. My question always is to this. Do people, when they say that, do you know what the Oilers' game plan is for where the center iceman's supposed to go when they lose a draw cleanly? Not what you were coached, because I can tell you, every team has different responsibilities on different situations. And you know where the center iceman goes? To the slot. Watch it. That's what they do. And if you watch the play, so it's a point shot that comes through. It's not Bouchard controls the rebound, goes to shoot it away. He shoots it away off of Draisaitl's stick. And the Oilers actually had the Ducks outmanned 4-2 in the front of the net, the danger area. And then the puck ricochets off Draisaitl's skate over to Gauthier, who's kind of coming out because he was late coming off the boards. If you watch the replay, it was very late coming off the boards. Because you know why? Because he stays there as an outlet for the point shot. But his winger doesn't stay on the boards, and the center doesn't stay with him. He's not supposed to. So then it takes his bounce off of Draisaitl's skate right to him. And someone says it's a bad defensive read. What? No. I don't think you understand. The defenseman off of a lot. Now, different coaches will have different strategies. I know in the offensive zone, there's lots of teams. If the center iceman loses the faceoff into the corner, it's not the winger on the boards that goes attacks. They want the center iceman to go attack in the offensive zone, right? There's different responsibilities. It's not just a standard, if you lose a draw, A goes to B, B goes here all the time. It's different. Each side of the ice is different. And it depends, where did you lose the draw? Did you lose the draw back to the wing? Did you lose the draw to the point? There's lots of different plays, and it's a quick split-second decision. If you watch it, Draisaitl doesn't hesitate. He goes right to the middle, which tells me that's where they're supposed to go. Into the high slot area. Defenseman cover the low slot. Center iceman covers the high slot. When Bouchard's clearing attempt goes off his skate, that's not a bad defensive coverage. It's a little bit of bad luck, right? And you don't want to lose faceoffs cleanly, but it's another great example of anybody who tells you faceoffs don't matter in the defensive zone. Like, what? If you want to bring up neutral zone faceoffs, I'll agree with you. I can see a lot of neutral zone faceoffs. Heck, I remember Jared Stoll telling us at times he would try different things in the neutral zone because he's like, you know what? I don't want to give away what I want to do in the D zone. So sometimes you might let a guy beat you once in the neutral zone because you're setting it up for an offensive zone or a defensive zone faceoff, which is where goals can be scored. Rarely are you win a faceoff and you go back to the guy and then he has a stretch pass up the middle on a neutral zone draw. It's very, very rare, right? It just is. So I get the difference. But think about it. The Oilers have lost 2 faceoffs cleanly in this series that led directly to goals. The power play goal in game 1, 5 seconds after they score. And then that one. That's why faceoffs matter. You can lose it. Don't lose it cleanly. That's the main one. So, yeah. So it's not good. Hey guys, a dump truck flipped on the Henday today because of the wind from MTR. Yikes, man. Hopefully everybody's all right. We got more actually flipping on the freeway, hot water tanks, and geez, yeah, it's no joke, man, when it gets that windy out there. So to all of our big truck drivers out there today, anybody maybe in a 3/4 ton, one of those work trucks where you got things on the back, drive safe. Hopefully, because that would be the worst feeling, man. I've never driven a big rig, well, way back when in 5-ton, but nothing much bigger than that. So still, that was a little nerve-wracking. So, Cons, you ever driven a big vehicle bigger than a truck, like a 1/2 ton?
No. I'd like to.
It is fun. I'm not going to lie.
I love the truck. I love driving a truck. I want one now.
Yeah. I actually, now that I say that, I did get forced into driving just the semi without the trailer on it once. A little bit nerve-wracking. But I will say, like, the gear shift was unbelievable because you have so many gears, man. You're switching that all the time. And, that part was fun. I'm not going to lie. So I would recommend everybody should get to drive one time in your life when you're a youngster. Well, youngster being a young adult, of course. We'll come back. Nick Kipros will join us. Break down the NHL playoffs. Lots of thoughts and lots of different series coming up next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell. And we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me, GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is this Friday at 9 a.m. featuring backhoes, excavators, forklifts, man lifts, wheel loaders, packers, road reclaimers, skid steers, telehandlers, turf mowers, plus commercial trailers and more. Info at maauctions.com.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Industrial Auction is this Friday at 9 a.m. featuring Japa equipment rentals realignment with 5 2022 to 2020 XCMG 250U, 300U, 360U, and 490U excavators. Search Japa at maauctions.com.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes. They've been doing so in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through game day, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Everything's game day now with playoffs going on, NBA, NHL. Of course, 3 games tonight as we enter that phase of the first round where some teams are getting an extra day off in between games. So had 3 games last night, 3 games tonight, 3 on Friday and Saturday. Then it gets back to kind of the regular 4. You'll have the Sabres and Bruins at 5 o'clock our time, which we all know is 5:10. Then the Hurricanes and Senators. Sens need a win. They're down 0-2. And then the Kings, the late game tonight, hosting Colorado. Games have been close. The Kings, man, they had a lead late in game 2, but couldn't hold it. And Colorado tied it, then won it in overtime. And we'll see. The Kings need someone other than Artemi Panarin to score a goal. That's, hey, we know, like, offense isn't Edmonton's problem. They got to limit mainly on special teams, right? 5-on-5, probably cut it down a little bit, but it's more so special teams. They need to be much, much better as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Center, new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku. Features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena. And did you know that next year it will be home to the University of Golden Bears and Pandas as the Drake, Claire Drake, is getting renovated. So all the games will be out there. That fantastic facility. Great. The players are going to love it. And, man, once the Drake's done, that should be a pretty good renovated building as well. As we are joined by former NHLer, Stanley Cup winner, analyst now on Sportsnet, one of the hosts of Kipper and Bourne Show. We, of course, have Nick Kyprios joining us. Nick, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good, pal. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. I am all right. The playoffs, there's definitely been no shortage of storylines, some expected, some unexpected. And I'll start in Edmonton, the unexpected, that the Oilers have scored 8 5-on-5 goals in 2 games. I mean, McDavid doesn't have a point and had probably maybe his one game of his career where I think he fought the puck more than I've ever seen last night. So I don't expect that to continue. I don't think a lot of it has to do with the Ducks. I think some of it just has to do with the guy. You can care too much. I'm sure you played with teammates at times where, you know, you try to do too much. You end up doing less than you want to even accomplish. And that led to a ton of turnovers from the captain.
Yeah, well, listen, we are talking about one of the most extraordinary hockey players in the history of the game, and what he's capable of doing on any given night is much different from the majority of the current players or the ones historically in the past here. And sometimes that calls for, you know, pushing the envelope a little bit and trying a little too hard or trying something new, or, you know, just the capacity that he has is incredible. And sometimes you got to take the good with the not so good. And it hasn't been rolling for him the last little while, but that won't keep him from continuing to be Connor McDavid. And it will turn around because it has his whole life.
Yeah. Like, If you would tell me that McDavid hasn't played well and that was your major concern, I'd be like, oh, that's like it's a good problem because you'd think that he'll turn it around. Now, will the penalty kill turn it around? That I've got some concerns about. No Henrique, no Dickinson, and the Oilers penalty kill. It's unlike their power play, which has been the best in the league for 5 years. Their power play would figure it out. The penalty kill hasn't done that. The penalty kill doesn't give you the benefit of the doubt. So how do you think they can help their penalty kill?
Well, for me, it has to be, the goaltender and the guys in front of him. And at times, you're seeing these seeing eye hits like in baseball, find seams and going in. But your best penalty killer, Jason, has to be your goaltender, and we know that. That's historically been there. The blue line still, for me, sometimes it's a question mark. There's no problem how much you lean on Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, and Connor Murphy's come in, done a nice job. But, Wallman needs to have better quality minutes here too. And somehow, some way, if this is going to be a long run for the Oilers, Wallman has to kind of step up here. Instead of protecting his 15 minutes a night, he's going to have better quality and try to get up there around 18 or 19. It's a long haul here. And then that blue line from 1 to 6, I think, has to show better than I think they have overall so far in the short 2 games here.
Let's look at some other series. The Penguins and the Flyers. It's good night, Irene, for the Pittsburgh Penguins. There's only 4 teams in history that have come back, so it's not impossible, but they don't look like a team that I think can come back. What about the Flyers game have you liked through 3 games?
Well, just the fact that Rick Tocchet's come in and he's had a clear message of what he wants and what he expects. And, he's been able to kind of take a guy like Trevor Zegras, who had so many issues in Anaheim and kind of lost in his way a little bit. And he's been able to kind of turn him around. And, Mishkov's a talented guy, but and it's still a project for him. We saw him take a really bad penalty. But for the most part, man, oh man, are we talking about a meat and potatoes type of lineup, a Rick Tocchet type of go out there, bust your ass. No one's looking like a hero. No one has to be the star. We're going to do this together. And then that's what he's getting out of his lineup. They're faster. They're younger. They're hungrier. They look more physical. They look a lot more engaged than Pittsburgh. And good on Rick Tocchet, man. It probably has a few people in Vancouver cringing a little bit, watching the success of the Flyers, but so be it. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Tonight we have the Senators in a must-win situation at home. That series has been very close. Like game 2 might have been one of the best games I've seen. Oh my God, it was unreal. And I still don't know 2 days later how Tim Slitzel didn't score that goal. I don't understand it. I thought for sure he was going to score there, but like they've been right in that series. But the difference in playoff hockey is one timely goal over another. What do you make of the Sens' chances to come back, or is it just too big of a hole to win 4 of 5 against the Hurricanes?
No. Well, listen, I think there's an opportunity here to go back even. I really do. I think that they, not to get ahead of themselves, but I think there is a chance. And I do base it on those first 2 games in Carolina where they could have easily split coming home and feeling so much better. But it is the closest series you'll ever find, with one team being up 2-0. And it was like a force field sometimes around Freddie Anderson trying to get a puck over the goal line. And I don't know. I don't anticipate it to be that difficult again tonight in Ottawa. I think they've got good finishers there. Batherson, of course, Cousins, Kachuk, Stützle has been snake bitten as well. They've got finishers here. And I think if they can get to Freddie Anderson early here tonight and get to Carolina, it should feel a lot better than it did in Carolina. I think they got a chance here to. You're right. I don't know about 4 to 5, But to get it to game 6 or game 7, very much I like Ottawa's chances still.
Nick Kipros joins us. Nick, some off-season in 2 Canadian markets. They'll be looking for a GM. In Toronto, I saw your report saying, okay, you know what, if they're going to give those guys the GM job, there's probably going to be a president. Do you think they need both a GM and a president in the Leafs organization?
I do in this market particularly, and, you know, we can sit there and compare Canadian markets and the challenges for teams in Canada compared to the U.S. And I absolutely do believe that they should have a president here in Toronto, working alongside with the general managers. There's just so many different aspects, and at times there can be pitfalls. You could hire a president or a GM just to handle the media around here with some of these guys, you know. And I'll throw me in the mix too, Jason, at times. But yeah, it's a beast from the corporate world to selling sponsorships, and the president's been very active in that. Brendan Shanahan had a big role in corporate and sponsorship, television, media, you name it. I do believe that they should have at least one of a president and general manager here, and you know, who knows how it falls out in Vancouver as well. And we'll keep a close eye on that with Jimmy Rutherford, and whether he stays in that position, he slides down somewhere, who comes in, who's helping him, all intriguing stuff here.
You know, the Vancouver one is very different, because in Vancouver, Nick, I think Toronto's made some poor decisions on player evaluation, but there's no like dysfunction in that organization, at least outwardly, compared to how there is in Vancouver. And in Vancouver, from ownership down, there's been problem after problem after problem that they've had. And, you know, you even have their GM president admitting, you know what, we knew Hughes was leaving, so we tried to sign other guys and hope to entice him to leave, which is like, I'm like, dude, in any breakup, you know, that never works. Hey, why don't you cut your hair? I don't like your hair. Oh, yeah, well, guess what? She still doesn't like me. I just cut my hair. Nothing's changed. And so I found that, like, Vancouver job is one that, like, I get there's only 32 jobs and everybody's always going to believe they can turn it around. But, man, if I went in there, I'd be asking some serious questions about the stability of the ownership group and just how they treat everything in Vancouver. It's just not great.
No, and, you know, whether we're talking about professional sports or a business every day, it starts from the top to the bottom. And Francesco Aquilini is a very active owner. And, you know, we know what the Vancouver Canucks mean to him. And it's not like he's going to sell it. He's going to keep it. We know that. And he just wants to be a part of it. And that's going to be the challenges. And it's been the challenge from, you know, Mike Gillis to Jimmy Rutherford and, you know, Dave Nonis and Brian Burke when they were there. And it will continue to be that way. So you just got to be able to manage it. If you're Jimmy Rutherford, if you're in the ability to kind of hang in there, and if that's what he wants to do full time. But, you know, the good news is they have prospects. They have picks. They could be looking at the first pick overall. There was reasons to kind of look like you wanted to quit, you know, at the end of the season, and they went on the West Coast and they beat San Jose, Anaheim, LA. And I'm not hanging my hat on that, but, you know, there seems to be some pride still there. And, you know, if they find the right general manager, and if Jimmy wants to stay on, you just hope that they can all get on the same page, because that certainly wasn't the case with Alvin and Rutherford. That thing went south, and it didn't go south overnight. The more we hear about, you know, the dysfunction that went on behind the scenes, you know, when it came to, you know, making trades and handling Quinn Hughes and re-signing Pettersson, they weren't on the same page, and unfortunately, it hurt them in the end. Now they got a chance to fix it now with a general manager and maybe even a new president down the road. We'll have to wait and see.
Nick Kipros joins us. Nick, what about the Dallas Minnesota series? Being super tough. Minnesota wins the first game really good, and now, you know, they've lost 2 in a row. What's your concern level at all for the Wild to get back in that series?
Yeah, Zuccarello. that's the concern there, because if he's out, it changes the makeup of this team significantly. And they've got a superstar we know in Kaprizov, but he didn't have a strong game the other night. And Boldy got hurt, he came back. But outside of that, man, we're also talking about a Philadelphia Flyer type of meat and potatoes team here. Quinn Hughes, I don't know what he ended up spending, 44 minutes on the ice. The one thing that Minnie, I think, has an edge on Dallas is that blue line. Favors an incredible talent, and in many ways as important to Minnesota as Quinn Hughes. He could be the X factor here moving forward, but they're gonna have to find a way to put the puck in the net here if Zuccarello can't go, and that's going to be a big challenge.
Yeah, that is certain injuries at key times, man. Like we see it in Edmonton. Adam Henrique, hasn't had a great year offensively, whatever, but small areas of the game, wins some key faceoffs for your team, good on the penalty kill, and we've seen that being a problem for the Oilers so far in this series. Vegas, Utah. Now they're in a unique sense. They played on Tuesday. Now they don't play till Friday. Then they don't play again till Monday. 2 days off between. I don't think it's great for anybody, and it's probably not great for the momentum of the series. Does Game 3 become even more crucial because teams are basically playing 1 in 5 days, or does it matter?
Yeah, sometimes if you're on a roll or you're feeling it a little bit, you're scoring goals, you just want to play every night, man. And, but it is what it is. And there's television, obviously, and, what ESPN or TBS wants. Here it's Hockey Night in Canada. But, for the most part, you still got to think that with Vegas now settling in with Tortorella, they seem to be the team that should move on here. But you got that young and dumb kind of thing going on right now, maybe in Utah, and Logan Cooley all of a sudden looks like an X factor here moving forward. We assume that there's going to be tremendous energy and excitement in Utah. Can they play that in? This one also has a feeling, I think, much like Anaheim's giving Edmonton the feeling right now that this could be 6 or 7 games as well.
Yeah, well, I look at Utah; they're fast, man, and I give them a lot of credit. They're very fast, third fastest team in the NHL behind Colorado and Edmonton, and I like that series a lot. Which leads me to the last one: is Boston and Buffalo, classical Adams division rivalry. We saw that game really kind of changed on the Luukkonen goal. I'm really interested to see how he bounces back, because I watched that replay a few times, and some people say it's bad luck. But he also didn't do the traditional get your body behind a bouncing puck, which is what, Kevin Woodley told me. He's like, that's a cardinal sin for a goalie in a key moment. You always got to get behind there. But how he responds will probably tell us a lot about what the Sabres' chances are in this series.
Yeah, there's a feeling like Alex Lyon is going in tonight. And, is it a gutsy call? Alex Lyon has had some success in the past, and he's shown he can come up with some big games. He did it, for Florida, a couple of years ago, and, has shown this year that he's capable as well. So, is that a good time to give Luukkonen a bit of a rest here, a reset? Will he feel like he's in a situation now where, the team's bailing on him? Does he lose confidence? I certainly would make the change here. I would. I think Luukkonen needs a reset, and I try to convince him that we're going to need both of you here moving forward here. But Lyon was in the starter's net in the morning skate here, and the sense is it's Lyon's net tonight. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think Boston's shown us a lot of resilience, man. I look at game 1, and it was an amazing comeback for the Buffalo Sabres, but there's also a part of me that says that Buffalo's fortunate not to be going back to Boston down 2-0.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Nick, always good to catch up with you, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, Jace. Thanks, buddy.
That is Nick Kyprios. It's fascinating to me. I know we're in the heart of the playoffs. It's great, but it's just kind of curious to look at Toronto's management Vancouver, very different where their teams are in one sense, more off of the ice. If you ask me, and let's say you got offered both jobs, I'm taking the Toronto job all day. Money's the same, everything, it's guaranteed term, all that. I'm taking the Toronto job. Not because I think it's grossly easier. I just think there's more stability in the organization. Just that simple. Vancouver, I don't trust that organization right now if I was someone going there. Now, if that's the only job that you can get, then of course you're going to take it because you believe in yourself and you believe, I can make things different. That's how it is. I understand it. But if I had a choice and I was a GM and I got offered both, I would take the Toronto job. Toronto job isn't an easy job. Make no mistake. It's going to be tough for them to get back and look at where their team is and how they're going to rebuild their defense. Like, how can they, people say retool, but how do you retool if you don't have prospects or picks to trade to retool? That's the part I don't get. So, and what if they fall out? Like if somebody else, it's not even that Toronto loses. What if somebody behind them wins the lottery? Then they drop out of the top 5 to number 6, and then that's Boston's pick. That's what makes the May 5th draft lottery so intriguing. And just to see who wins. And, like, does Vancouver's luck in the lottery change finally? Them and Detroit, like those two teams always drop down in the lottery. Always. So maybe it changes for Vancouver and they stay and get the number 1 pick for the first time in franchise history. Calgary Flames currently have the 4th best odds. They've never picked number 1. They've never picked in the top 3. Could they move into the top 3? Let's see. Take a quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At GS Construction, we're multitaskers. We've got lots of projects going on all around Edmonton and area. Different teams across the city working towards the same outcome. Installing today what will serve generations to come. It's a rewarding career and the work never stops. That's why GS Construction is always on the lookout for great people to join us. Right now, we're looking for experienced topmen, pipe layers, operators, and surveyors. So if you want to feel valued, empowered, and engaged in your work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Good to go. Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, good to go.
A relaxing day at the lake without a Toyota Tundra can be noisy. But when you get a Tundra at your local Toyota dealer, you can take advantage of up to 11,000 pounds of towing capacity to find a quieter spot. Ah, that's better. Lease a 2026 Tundra 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $149 weekly for 60 months at 5.29% APR with $8,799 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your Prairie Toyota dealer today.
For the first time in 66 years, Golden Bears and Pandas hockey are on the move.
during the 2026-27 Canada West season. Two of the most successful hockey programs in U Sports history will call Silent Ice Center in Nisku their temporary home. The Golden Bears and Pandas are excited to connect with the South Edmonton community and welcome new fans to experience the tradition and excitement of U of A hockey. Same tradition, new temporary home. Golden Bears and Pandas hockey at Silent Ice Center for the 26-27 season.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Euphoria is back, and it's only on Crave. The groundbreaking HBO original Critics' Call, one of the most explosive, heartbreaking, and entertaining shows on television, returns for a new season, starring Emmy winner Zendaya.
If you make a deal with the devil, there's no turning back.
A new chapter begins. The real world awaits, and their story changes forever.
Wherever these unlucky folk go, there's a cascade of trouble.
Euphoria, new season, stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The playoffs are here, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play score and win every game. See more at ontherocksYEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
That's Steve Winwood? Oh, man. It is, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
Oh, buddy, I'm first of all, pat myself on the back for picking on Steve Winwood. God, I normally would never be good at well, I couldn't name the tune, but I can name the singer sometimes. But that's a classic. A little bit of like a fast ballad almost. It's like a soft ballad. I'm not even you singers know the proper term. I have no idea what the proper term would be for that, but it's a little bit of it's kind of a fast moving ballad. I don't know, but still a little sappy. So it's classic. Remember it.
I've heard people call it yacht rock.
What?
Like you listen to it on a yacht.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
listen to it on a. Who the hell's on a yacht?
You
So you're
know.
basically saying it's a rich person song?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Yacht rock.
No, that
Like,
came
let's
from
be
It's Always
honest.
Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. I was just gonna say, like, that is not a common term that most people say. Oh, it's yacht rock.
I mean, it's got a Wikipedia page, so
Yacht, yeah, probably because of the show. Anybody can make a Wikipedia page. Do you know that, right? Like, anybody can have a Wikipedia page.
but they can shut you down if it's not legit. This started with the days of Steely Dan and Supertramp, even Fleetwood Mac, they say.
Really?
Yeah.
Yacht rock. Come on. The hell?
Technically, I've played 2 yacht rock artists, according to Wikipedia.
Really?
Played some Bryan Adams earlier today.
So, do you know a Wikipedia page that was shut down?
I don't want to call him out, but I believe I'm going to anyways. I think Mark Majot tried to make himself one, and they shut it down.
Why?
I don't know. I'll maybe text him. See what the reason was.
Really?
Yeah. The texters agree. Yacht rock or dock rock. I kind of like dock rock even more.
Dock rock. Oh, hey, Gregor, there's actually a Sirius XM station, Yacht Rock. It sucks from DS. You know what? I have Sirius. Now, granted, I listen to basically the sports channels on Sirius. So, Yacht Rock, it just makes me laugh. I like that he's like, they have one, but it sucks. But DS has listened to it. You have to listen to it enough to know that it sucks. That's the best part. You can't just listen to one song and claim it sucks, can you? Right?
Great logo. Maybe you just or listen on the way home and report back.
Yeah, that's not happening. No, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, who've been proudly serving Canada over 50 years. Guess what? Right now, 60% off Canadian-made sofas. When you buy the matching love seat or chair, you can get up to $1,400 off of sectionals and the big screen blitz. 2025 TV models are priced to clear. Great savings. If you're looking for a big TV party, do it now. thebrickandthebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. When this Oilers-Ducks series comes to an end, how many points will Connor McDavid and Evan Bouchard have?
Oh, my God. Well, how many games? Geez, now how many games are going to go now? So that'll depend on it. That's a good question. So if it goes 5 or 6 games, 7, could I see McDavid getting back to a point a game? Yes. Probably higher. I'll say he finishes with 7 points in 6 games.
How about Bouchard?
6 games, 4 points.
Yeah, I had Oilers in 6, so 4 more games. McDavid, I'll take 6 points. Bouchard, 4 points. Gotta think they find their game. Could be more. Now, question number 2 for you. Power play struggles. Would you consider a change at personnel, or do you give them time to find their way, knock off the rust?
Go ahead.
I would consider it. I don't know if I would do it. I think I'd probably give them a few more here on the road in Anaheim. Maybe they simplify things just a little bit. And as Hyman said, you find a way to knock off the rust. Adapt to what the Ducks are doing. I think that's a part as well. But I would give them a few more here before I make any changes.
No, I'm not making any changes. It's the best power play for 5 years. The Oilers had 9 shots on goal last game in the power play. Now, they had the worst giveaway I can imagine on the power play. Just a blind pass in your own zone, not even being pressured. What? So no, I'm not making any change. The hardest thing to do for a head coach is to not panic. And because you as the leader, if you panic, everybody below you panics. I'm not changing.
Question number 3, of all the first round series, that's NHL and NBA, what has been the most enjoyable so far?
I don't know if there's been there's not an NBA series where I'm just like, oh my God, I love it. I will say the Detroit series has been more competitive than I thought it'd be. So if I had to pick one, it'd probably be that one. Although the Nugs and the Timberwolves, that's been the best series. But I would say Toronto, Tampa Bay.
Montreal, Tampa Bay?
Yeah, sorry. Did I say Toronto? Yeah, Montreal, Tampa Bay.
I'm with you for sure. I mean, you get the overtimes. There's a little bit of a bad blood going in there. Even if they're not dropping the mitts, there's some anger, some tenacity. So I would agree with you on that one. Can't wait for Friday night when it shifts to Montreal. In the association going forward, I'm intrigued by the Spurs and Blazers. Without Wemby, anything can happen. So obviously, for a lot of those guys, time to step up. Question number 4 for you. NFL draft tonight. If you were to make a way too premature prediction, because we don't even know what team they're on yet, who would be your pick for offensive and defensive rookies of the year?
Go ahead.
Defensive, I'm going to go with edge rusher David Bailey. I'm not sure he'll be with the Jets, or maybe he drops a little bit if they decide to go Arvell Reese, but I like what he did. Had the college production, which is always big. On the offensive side of the ball, the temptation would be Jeremiah Love, but I'm going to go with receiver. And if Jordan Tyson can stay healthy, that'll be my pick. He's had the injury concerns. That's the knock on him, but I think he's a really good player. Depending on where he ends up, I think that'd be my pick.
Yeah, well, it helps if you're on a decent team. So I don't know if it's even like, is Jeremiah Love going to get on a team good enough to do it? But I will go with I'm going to go with Jordan Tyson as the offensive rookie of the year. Actually, no, I'm going to change that, Cons. I'm going to go with Kenyon Sadiq as my I'm sticking with
That's
it.
your guy.
I'm all in on him. I'm all in on him. And I will I'll go with Maybe I'll go with Mezzador.
Good pick. Canadian.
Yeah, Akeem Mezzador.
All right, final question for you. It is movie theater day. So I want to ask you, what do you think is a movie that has to be seen in theaters? And then also, of the movies upcoming in 2026, is there one you have circled that you would like to go see in a theater?
Go ahead.
I think one of my favorite movies of all time, well, I know it's Gladiator. And I think, a movie like that should be seen in theater. One of the more popular ones, everyone says, is Top Gun 2. You got to see it in the theater. So an action movie for sure. For me, I'll say Gladiator. Movies upcoming. There's a new Cliffhanger coming out. I think that could be cool, but I'll go with The Odyssey. We've talked about it a little bit before. It's got a great cast. It comes out in July, so I'll say The Odyssey.
All right. Well, I know I'm going with the one I'll see right away, Incredibles 3. So I'll say that. I love the animated movies right now. Incredibles 3, I really like that series. I don't know. It's just kind of simple and fun. But a movie that needs to be seen in theaters, Gladiator is a very good one. The big screen with the sounds. Honestly, like I go back, like Lord of the Rings. A movie like that, you need to see it in theater for sure. Those would be my choices.
I love when theaters do that, like bring back older movies, replay them in theater.
Yeah. Why not?
I am kind of intrigued by Coyote versus Acme as well.
Hey guys, James Taylor, Kenny Loggins, Jimmy Buffett, all could be considered Yacht Rock. Basically, easy listening from Phil. All right. I just still laugh at the name. I'd never heard it before. Yacht Rock. Just kind of, it's funny because like how many people are on a yacht? What are we talking, like 1% of the population? That's why I don't love the name. I don't think it's reflective of the people who listen to the music. That's all I'm saying. Most of us never been on a yacht, myself included. Like, who's a yacht guy? Right? It's like we're Seinfeld all of a sudden, right? I can't do it, George. What do you mean you're not doing it? Got to change everything. Got to get new friends, clothes. It's different. Like, do I want to wear rolled up white shorts? Probably not.
I think that's what you would have to wear on the yacht.
Yeah, I don't know.
Listen to the rock.
Never been there. And if that's the music they're playing on the yacht, I'm not in. I don't want to be on it. Like, I want a little bit more upbeat music. Why am I playing like put me to sleep music? I don't get it. So
you wouldn't want to be sipping on a mint julep, listening to Steve Winwood.
I don't mind that song of Steve Winwood. That's one. I don't know if I can name any other ones, but no, not really. Like I'd probably want something a little bit more up tempo.
Well, maybe for the rest of the show, I'll play Yacht Rock.
Yeah. Great.
See if I can change your mind.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a few. It's like anything, Con. Could Yacht Rock have 5 really good songs? Of course. You could, even if there's some like people like my son, of course, he's not a big Swiftie, right? But then he, is in school, but he realized afterwards, like starting grade 3, he's like, oh, Taylor Swift, can't stand Taylor Swift. And then I said, there's a Taylor Swift song on, and he was in the back seat, and I noticed he was singing to it. And I was like, oh, like, so he goes, well, Dad, Jack has some good songs. I said, so it's not Taylor Swift you don't like. It's the constant screaming of the girls in his class about it that he doesn't like. And I'm like, that I understand, right? It's like some fans, you don't necessarily dislike the Canucks as much because they're not a threat, but you don't like their fans. So because of that, you don't like the Canucks. I get it, right? The Canuck fans are annoying. So now by circumstance, guilt by association, the Canucks become annoying. Now, back when they had Bieksa and Kessler and Burroughs, they could be annoying. They were good, but the Oilers weren't very good. But now, like, you have nothing to fear if you're a fan of almost every other team in the league when it comes to the Canucks. But their fans annoy you. I get it. Not everyone, just a percentage, strong percentage of them. So it's like, I know people, and I don't follow because I just think it's a terrible site. But anyway, there's some local site that just posts negativity all the time. Anyway, there's some people who got in a fight at the Oilers game last night. Now, there's 18,000 fans. And so there's what? let's just say, even if it's 2-on-2, right? There's 4 fans at a game who get in a fight, right? And people are like, oh, but that's a representation. No, it isn't. How is that a representation? Like, what's the percentage of 4 divided by 18,000? Right? Honestly. It's not even 1%. Why are you worrying about it? Like, they're not smart. I don't know what led to it. I don't get it. I would say I'm always intrigued by, like, who videos the fight and then decides I want to share it on this other loser platform. That's the part about it. The person who shares it, to me, is more of a buffoon than the 2 people fighting. Right? I don't get it. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't understand it. Like, I always think it's dumb to fight opposing. Hey, you moat off my team, I'm going to fight you because I'm a Flame fan and you're an Oiler fan. Like, that thing's dumb. But if it's Oiler fans on Oiler fans, like, yeah, the team lost, so what? Oh, this guy said McDavid sucks, now I'm going to fight him. What? Like, come on. It's a little ridiculous. But who cares? It's such a small percentage of the fans. 17,995 were great. Oh, but let's worry about the 4 who weren't. Dumb. Connor Halley. Time for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. I can tell you right now, there'll be no fighting unless you're fighting for a good deal. And even then, don't worry. You don't have to fight because they'll have lots of good deals. And I know it's windy outside. It's super cold outside. We'll get into the brand new Autoplex at Northgate. You'll stay warm. See all the great rides. NorthgateGM.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Stanley Cup playoffs rolling on tonight, getting going shortly. Sabres and Bruins. That's where we've the game apiece. The Sens try to claw back into their series against the Hurricanes at 5:30. Then at 8 o'clock, Avs and Kings. Colorado can take a 3-0 series lead with a win. In the association, the Raptors hosting the Cavs, down 2 games to none. Tip-off 6 o'clock. We've also got the Hawks and the Knicks and the Nuggets heading to Minnesota. In the majors, Red Sox lead the Yankees 1-0, top of the 4th. Yankees do have the bases loaded later tonight. Mets, Twins, and the Pirates taking on the Rangers. Earlier today was the Dodgers over the Giants 3-0. Braves get past the Nationals 7-2. Tigers over the Brewers 5-4. Phillies follow the Cubs 8-7 in extras. And the Padres knocking off the Rockies 10-8. AHL playoffs tonight. Condors hosting Coachella Valley Game 1. That gets going just after 8 o'clock. And the NFL draft an hour away. The Las Vegas Raiders on the clock, expected to select quarterback Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear from Dennis Bernstein of the 4th period and hear the latest 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell. And we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me, GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Hold on to your hockey helmets, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 69-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadian and Coors Light for $5.75. Plus, OTR's TVs are so clear, you'll see the puck better than the ref.
That ain't hard, is it?
Score and win every game night during Edmonton's playoff run with specials starting 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksYEG.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
This summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweat Box.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With
Go back, Jason Gregor
and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon.
40. Everything's game day now with playoffs.
Pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca to schedule your service today.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points.
You're listening
for
to
Free McDonald's.
Don't drink and
Now
drive.
that's what I
when I did
call
that.
A
Like I had
double
to
whammy
pour-
of deals.
Why does that keep happening?
Having Brule, and that was
Deal
back
sent
when
the
right to your
wine.
door.
Like
Check your
overtime
mailbox
in
for the
game
latest
two.
McDonald's
The year
mailer
before they won
loaded with
game one.
delicious value. For a limited time at
and then they
participating
lost
restaurants in
in
Western
overtime 5-4 the Kings.
For over 50 years, the Brick has
Having
been
Brule, and that
proudly
was
serving
back when
Canada.
the Oilers had
They love to save you
higher
more on
blood
everything
alcohol.
you need for your home. Save up to
Like I just
60%
remember
off
being
made
like,
in
what
Canada
was the glass
sofas
of wine?
when you buy the
Like what?
matching Love Cedar chair. Find patio sets starting at just $99 and save up to 40% off mattresses.
You listen to
Plus,
Jason
take
Gregor.
5
Does-
years to pay with 0%
Liquor
interest
deliver
on
a bunch
furniture and mattresses.
keep things pretty
Taxes
clean
and
here.
fees
There
to
you go.
purchase, always see.
Now,
Visit a
the
Brick
Edmonton
near you
Oilers
for
last
details
night
and
specs like, hey,
The Brick, saving you more.
the Edmonton
This May, look for your census letter in the mail. The information you provide.
The
helps
Edmonton
plan
Oilers
services
last
in
night
your
spec
community
like, hey,
that support
obviously
employment,
it's
transit,
that's a game you would love to
education,
win.
healthcare,
But it's
and
fascinating
more.
to me
It's
that
easy
like
to fill
I've watched
out and
Connor McDavid for
completely
10 years,
confidential.
and he does
Find out
things that
more
most
at
mortals can never do.
census.gc.ca.
We see it on a time and again
Your
basis.
census,
I honestly
your
can't
community,
recall a
our
game
future.
where I saw him
A message
fight
from the
the
Government
puck
of Canada.
with errant passes. Like
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. If you're tired of slow, unreliable
he did
internet
last night,
connections
like I've
I am,
literally never
check out
seen him before.
Starlink. It's fast, reliable, even in bad weather, and even works for 4K streaming for movie nights, online gaming, and more. Growing up on the farm in the sticks of central Alberta, we tried everything to get reliable internet, but we're always left with buffering video and half-loaded websites. There's nothing worse than losing your connection while streaming the big game. I'm getting mine set up soon and can't wait. If you're ready for better internet, order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-800-GO-STARLINK.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care. Injuries don't wait, and neither should you. 01 Athletic Care offers one-stop access to doctors, x-rays, and casting. It's expert musculoskeletal care covered by Alberta Health right in West Edmonton Mall. Move from injury to recovery. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Yeah, see, look, this would want me to jump off the yacht. Telling you right now, welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Yacht Rock. Oh, my gosh. Well, we learned something new on the show today. I'd never heard about Yacht Rock. Obviously, lots of you had. I never had. So welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Point taken, cons. We don't need any more Yacht Rock on the show. Like, people will be driving in the ditch. It's hard enough driving in the wind right now. We don't get any other reason to want to hit the ditch with those type of songs. So away we go. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. The Daily Grand could be yours. PlayAlberta.ca, where $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. $7.3 million at PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck. Good luck. The Edmonton Oilers are en route to Anaheim to take on the Ducks tomorrow and Sunday. Adam Henrique is not on the flight. Jason Dickinson is on the flight, and it will be a possibility for Game 3, potentially. Obviously, he's dealing with the after effects still from that blocked shot to his ankle, and we'll see. If he goes, I would guess Curtis Lazar comes out. If not, it'll be the same lineup, and we'll see what the lines are. I think if whether Dickinson plays or not, I think you're going to see Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and McDavid. That was the only. Hey, they scored a goal 5-on-5 with McDavid on the ice. The only one of the series. Right, when he changed the lines, that line scored. Later on, the Szymanski line scored. So I think you'll see Draisaitl's line, no one's touching it. It's been the most productive line in the playoffs, 5-on-5. Of any team, by the way. Then you could either have Szymanski with Savoy and Roslovic, or Szymanski with Doc and Frederick, and then Dickinson, if he plays, then he would go between Savoy and Roslovic. I think those are probably the options we'll see for Game 3. To me, I don't get too caught up in line combinations, to be honest. I think it's a lot of white noise at times. This team can score. Who's going to work best to limit goals against, and then who can get on the penalty kill and help out? Because that's what's killing the penalty kill. They're not going to make any changes in the power play. I know a lot of people are talking, you got to change the power play. I'm like, they're not changing the power play. They had 9 shots yesterday in the power play. And outside of just that horrific giveaway, the power play at least showed some progress. But you know what? Progress gets you nothing in the playoffs. You need results. So they got to score. It's that simple. They need to produce. And I'm sure once they score one, they'll probably get better. I don't believe this group has lost faith in their power play. I think they've been pressing a bit at times. Yesterday, though, they got some good looks. Bouchard had a really good look. Hyman had a great look. Draisaitl had a great look. You keep getting good looks, eventually you'll score. Their passing was still just off a bit, right? They had Hyman open a few times, and that cross crease pass just missed him. I think when they're firing on all cylinders, that's on the tape and in the back of the net. And hopefully for them, it starts on Friday if they want to get a victory. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. As we'll get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. That is GS Construction. And Spec, before he gets to Anaheim, it's on the show, and we asked him about the Connor McDavid. Like, it's a rarity to see McDavid do what he did last night. Fight the puck as much as he did.
And the play dying on his stick in the offensive zone. Like, there were several plays that it got to him, and then Anaheim got the puck and away it went. And that's the rare. I wrote it last night only because I have a bit of a personal rule as a sports writer that says, if I go to an event and I see something I've never seen before in my life, you should probably write about it. And I can say to you that I've never seen Connor McDavid struggle with a puck the way he did last night, struggle to make plays, struggle to keep plays alive. And, you know, I'm not here to beat up on Connor McDavid. He's still the best player in the world. I bet you my house he's going to get good again real fast here. But that was an anomaly. That was a strange, strange night, man. It was like watching a race car that couldn't get out of first gear, you know, going around the Indy track at 8 miles an hour. Like, it was odd and strange and weird. And every Oilers fan was shaking their tooth like, what happened here? What's going on? So yes, very strange.
Yeah. So I don't like it's hard to want to dig deeper on a lot of other elements. Like, I do think defensively as a team, they can play better. And they have to. Like, I look at offensively, and I've always said this, offense isn't the Oilers' problem. Even with McDavid scoring points, if he doesn't score any points, it's whatever. But it's that giveaway in the power play that was a major, major part of the game. And so that just, to me, it comes down to the team. Everybody needs to be better defensively, including their best players.
Yeah, like, remember when the series started, the Oilers said, we want to play lower event hockey, we want to play good defensive hockey and make the Ducks really earn their goals. And the Ducks are more of a high-flying team, and they're more of a 5-4 team, and I think Edmonton wanted to try to play 3-2 hockey. So give the Ducks credit. Like, we've watched enough of these series in our market. All our listeners know this. You know, it's like those classic series with LA. They want to play one way, you want to play another way. Now, who gets to dictate how the game gets played, right? That's usually the team that wins. And in this series, through 6 periods, Anaheim's done a lot more dictating. It's been 5-4 hockey pretty much both nights, right, Jay? Like, it's not 3-2 hockey, and that means the Ducks are having their way, and the Oilers have not succeeded in having their way. That's just simple as that. But in terms of going forward, so what are the positives? The Oilers are 5-on-5. They're scoring 4 a night. So that's pretty positive, right? Their power play, we can see it's coming. It's going to arrive here. The power play is not going to stay bad. They're close. Connor McDavid, they've scored 8 goals in 2 games. Connor McDavid doesn't have a point. I think that's probably going to stop soon, So in my opinion, the Oilers just have to dial it in defensively and start to play some modicum of playoff defense. And be a little stingier. I mean, holy man, they're giving up way too much, and they're not playing well in their own zone. They're giving up 3 goals that Anaheim doesn't have to work that hard for, and that's what's killing them. They're too easy to score on, and we should throw this in. Ingram was no better than average last night, and that's got to change.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be great, but you got to make one save in a game where you're like, like in game 1. You know what? In the third period, he made 2 key timely saves. They still allowed 3 goals. I don't care how many goals he allows when their offense is going. But you know what? Last night, I didn't love the first goal, to be honest. He slid across a little bit late and got to fight through a screen. Woodley's described that to me numerous times over the years. So as I watched that, I watched the replay. I'm like, okay, because he believes as a goalie, just like there's responsibilities for every player, right? When you're I look at the Killorn goal and the Oilers. You have Szymanski, and then Ekholm comes to help. You've got the guy pinched along the boards in a good position where you should win the battle. You lose it, it comes loose. Now, is it a little bit unlucky that Killorn's pass, Bouchard knocks it down, which is a good play, but then it bounces back to Killorn, he scores? Yeah, it's a little unlucky, but the play shouldn't have got there. It should have stopped up high.
Play better defensively.
Yes.
Play better defensively. Right.
Yeah. So that's...
Sorry, Jay, we're on the phone here. Yes. No, you're right. You described a play where the Oilers get the puck to the right spot. It's a 2-on-1 against the wall, and then they blow the play, and the puck ends up in front of the net and in their net. And the winning goal, there's a rebound. Bouchard has. I just looked at the video. Bouchard has it. Yeah, it's right in front of his net, but there's no pressure on him. He's got time to make a play with that puck, but he just bats it towards safety, and he rings it off of Draisaitl's leg. Goes right to Gauthier, it's in the net. The one thing about Bouchard that he's got ahead of everybody is a panic level. He never panics, right? He has ice in his veins. And on that play, panic. He had time and he didn't use it. And the puck ends up on Gauthier's stick and it's in the net and you lose a game. So they got to this is a Stanley Cup caliber team that has played on many occasions Stanley Cup caliber defensive hockey. It's time to start to approach that now. You can't just play this style of defensive game and expect to win. Anaheim will eat you alive. They're really good offensively. So they'll get there. And if they don't get there, well, you know what? We'll be watching Anaheim play someone next round, won't we?
Well, if you're Knoblock, he made the change in the game. He switched Savoy and Nugent Hopkins, and he had Szymanski, Rosovic, and Savoy. And they scored a goal. Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and McDavid scored a goal. So the line changes. The line changes worked. That's the part I don't really understand. When he switched them, they worked. So and Dickinson, you can make an argument. Maybe Dickinson comes and he starts with Doc and Frederick, or maybe you switch him and Szymanski. Who knows? We'll see. But I think you're probably going to start the game with Savoy and Rosovic together. What do you think?
Yeah, and sure. I like the way they ended the game. I think you have to look at it in the context, Jason, of, through 5 periods or 4 periods, Savoy hadn't been very effective, right? Obviously, McDavid hadn't been very effective. So who are we trying to get going here? We're trying to get 97 going. So why don't we give him back a guy he's played with for 7 years or however long it's been? Let's give him McDavid back. Let's put the band back together with Hyman. And to me, that's what the coach is doing. It's less about Savoy and it's more about McDavid. Is that fair?
Oh, yes. 100%. I saw people saying, you got to switch the left winger on his line. And I get it. People love McDavid, but you don't have to blame other McDavid. Who cares who his left winger is? His left winger wasn't forced him to try to thread the needle on every pass.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's hope he's healthy to start with today. And these injuries, sometimes you wake up and they feel worse than when you went to bed.
Yeah, no. Today, Knoblock said no. He said it's he feels there's no issue with it. And you were there in the room last night. Like McDavid was walking. There was no limp at all in and out of the room. And Knoblock said today he sees no ill effects from it afterwards. I think it probably scared him more than anything a little bit. I get it, right? Like you're a thoroughbred and there's a little tweak there. Oh, my God. But he was walking around fine. He came back. I saw him like he was accelerating up the ice. No issue with McDavid. I think, McDavid's issue, and it's so odd to say because this guy has been elite for a decade, but he just had a tough game, right? Even game 1 wasn't like this. Game 2 was a continuation and even more because of just some, I've never seen him throw the puck away in his defensive zone to no one on a power play. I've never seen it before.
No, that was hey, how do I say it? We've covered when you're Connor McDavid, you get a break. You're like, as a writer, when I'm watching Connor McDavid and he has a bad game, it doesn't make my copy. When he has 2 bad games, it doesn't make my copy. I'm not here to beat up Connor McDavid from 2 bad games because he has so many good ones. But this was the one night that everybody looked at it, just said, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" It was odd, and I don't think it's going to last, Jay.
Wow, it would be. I don't know many people. His numbers equally not good. So I'm sorry. This is not like you're going up against Barkov or Bergeron. And that's no disrespect. I hope Washington, it's first-year player. A few good games, great. But this is more Connor McDavid has been his worst enemy right now, not the opposition. But if you're worried about Tim Washy, I think you got some. I would reevaluate your worries. Take a quick break. Bernstein is going to join us next in the one series that's been the opposite of this series, no goals. And guess what? They haven't won again. Can the Kings ever change, or is it the same old, same old? It's not Edmonton. Now it's Colorado. And now they can't score. And they can't win. Will it change tonight? We'll find out on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat,
King Spring Road Trip. And so many features, standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payment. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Portions of the Sour brought to you by Papa John's. For a limited time, get your favorite large specialty pizza from Papa John's for only $19.99. Use code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.525 as we continue on. NHL playoff have resumed for tonight. Boston and Buffalo going at it in Boston tonight. No score midway through the first period of that game. The really the only change in that one is that Alex Lyon is in the net for the Sabres. And honestly, if you're the Sabres, this is something that they should do. They've rotated goaltenders. So I like this decision. I know that Luukkonen let in a bad goal from center ice. Fine. But even if he hadn't, and if he lost the game, I wouldn't have thought it was a bad idea. I think coaches overthink it sometimes. If you split play all year long amongst goalies, then keep doing it. Boston showed us the greatest regular season ever. Well, we're going to go away. It's got us the greatest regular season ever. And guess what? They lost. So, you know what? If you're rotating goalies fairly even, then keep rotating in the playoffs. That's what got you there. Just my thoughts. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 as it's time to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. You thought the hype was over? Think again. After its viral debut in 2023, the legendary Chicken Big Mac is officially making a comeback in Canada right now for a limited time at McDonald's, as we are joined by Dennis Bernstein, good friend of the show. We always talk this time of the year because usually it's the Oilers and the Kings, but not, Dennis. It's now the Kings and the Avalanche and the Kings. They're keeping it close like they do, but they come up short. And, man, that Game 2 loss probably stung the most because they were leading late in the game.
Yeah, you know, I missed the J.W. Marriott and the Pint and all the other great plays, locals. Yeah. I think the Kings would rather be playing the Oilers. Game 2 was the game they could have had and probably should have had, Jason. Here's the reasons why. Led with less than 7 minutes to go, right? Penalty shot from Quentin Byfield, 5 power plays, still couldn't get it done. And now Colorado thinks they can play these low-event games and win games. Well, you can do that against the Kings, who have trouble scoring all season, Jason, but going into the other rounds, they're going to have to show more. The fact that you held McKinnon and Makar off the board with respect to goals in the first 2 games and didn't get a split. I think I think the frustration part from LA standpoint is that a lot of people thought they'd get blown out of this series, that it's been close, right? Game 1 wasn't that close. That's the one thing about the series, Jason. 2-2-1 games, but they were different. Colorado controlled that game 1. They were really never threatened. They were threatened in game 2, and they responded in the big spot. Goal from Landon Scott late. The Nick Watt overtime goal. So this is do or die. This is Game 7 for the Kings tonight. They have to come out. Now, they'll get probably a better break with respect to matchups, getting the home ice advantage, because the Kopitar line had to go up against the McKinnon line, and it really muted their offensive possibilities. They had to defend a lot more, so maybe change. And there's probably going to be one change. You're probably going to see Kuzmenko in for Matthew Joseph. He'll probably start on the third line and certainly help that power play that needs to get going as well.
Yeah, well, they need somebody else scoring other than Panarin. Panarin's he's fulfilled his duties. Now Byfield was close, man. Like Wedgwood, that's a pretty good save on the penalty shot. You know, I'm sure in hindsight, man, if I hold it on a split second, but that's easier to do in hindsight. But yeah, they've had some chances. Wedgwood's pretty good. So do you feel the Kings are creating enough, Dennis, or do they still need more? And if so, are there any specific people that need to be better?
They need more, Jason. They need to go to the net more traffic. They were more physical in Game 2 than Game 1. They were hitting the defenseman. They got to be able to get inside because at least for Game 1, it was get in the zone, a shot, clear, no follow-up. So they're going to have to create traffic in front of Wedgwood, who has been good, but he's basically seen all the shots they've thrown at him. There hasn't been a situation where they've had sustained pressure in the offensive zone. Part of that is maybe matchups. Part of that is Colorado's really good and they always have the puck, Jason. That was always going to be a problem in this series. But they need Kempe to score. Kempe, I think, had 3 shots in 2 games. Maybe he's playing hurt and he missed a couple of games down the stretch. Got hit with in the foot with a puck. But they're going to need more from him, and they're going to need more from Byfield. The second line's going to have to produce. You just can't have one line. And Jason, they did nothing 5-on-5. The 2 goals they score are power play goals. They're going to have to get inside, and it's a difficult task getting inside on this team because they are such a good defending team. So it's going to be a challenge. But you hope the home crowd gets them going. And as better as they played at home all season, down the stretch they were playing better at home. So maybe game 3, maybe a little juice, maybe getting the last change. There's a lot of maybes in that sentence, Jason, because let's be real, Colorado's the better team.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Better teams haven't always won the series. We know that, but you need some things to go your way. Like, obviously, the Kings need a win tonight. You go down 3-0, it's good night, Irene. There's no question about it. They're at home ice. Are there any matchups you think they'll try to get more at home that they weren't getting in Colorado?
Yeah, I think they're going to try to get – see, if I was them, I would actually take Panarin off the Kopitar line and put him with Byfield. I would have done that in Colorado. I did it for like 1 or 2 shifts. So maybe if it's the same script in the first 2 games, Jason, let's say 10 minutes in, then you got to switch up. You're not going to switch up the defense at all. You would switch. That would be the one sort of move. Maybe get Panarin with Byfield, get him some opportunities where Byfield doesn't have to be the facilitator. It would be Panarin. And you can have Byfield go to the slot, be a shooter, go to the net. They're going to have to do that. So I think it's the top 6 has to produce, Jason. Their bottom 6 isn't really going to give you much. Maybe you get a little bit juice from Kuzmenko being on the 3rd line. But if their top 6 doesn't get sustained pressure, it's going to be a situation where, I think they've scored 6 or 7 goals against them in 5 games. So they have to find a way to get more pressure. Maybe the type of game they play now, which is different than when Hiller was coaching under DJ Smith. There's more pressure. There's more forechecking. They're just going to have to be a more aggressive team tonight if they're going to get any traction in the offensive zone.
When you look at the Kings, and I thought the acquisition of Panarin was a sign that, the GM Ken Holland realized, like, we got to change our organizational philosophy, right? Like how they play, it just hasn't worked. Like, they haven't won a playoff series since 2014. And hey, we can argue that, they got closer in times, and some would say maybe they could have beat Edmonton for a bad coaching challenge, and maybe it changes things, lots of what ifs. Do you agree, Kevin, that was a start, Dennis, that, Fiala injury, of course, happened right after, which sucked for the Kings, because I think having both of them, they feel, okay, we got 2 difference makers, because Panarin is one of the top 10 offensive creative players in the National Hockey League. Do you think that Ken Holland, that was step 1 of changing how they play for next year?
It has to be, because you could sit back. You list all those overtime games that probably cost you a better seed. You wouldn't have to play Colorado because you sat back, you were passive, you weren't aggressive. That's not how the game is played anymore, Jason. This is from 10 years ago. There's too much speed and skill in this game. You can't sit back, defend, and hope to defend a 2-1 lead. I think they've lost 10 or 12 games when they're tied after 2 periods because they didn't have enough offense. All right, so yes, and to your point with Fiala, people saying, well, they should rebuild. They're not rebuilding. Kenny's 70 years old. This is Los Angeles. They're not going to go. They haven't won a playoff round since 14. So you're going to tell me if you rebuild, that's going to be 20 years before you win another playoff round. Not in this city, not with this organization, and the narrative that nobody wanted to play in Los Angeles because it's too expensive and the traffic. Well, that got defeated when Panarin said, I only want to play in Los Angeles. So other players might want to come here, live in Manhattan Beach, not be bothered by the media, not be chased down the streets by people during the playoffs. Maybe that's it. But yeah, and Kevin, if you look at if you look for next season, Jason, you look at their wingers, they got legitimate wingers on this team. Panarin, Fiala when he's healthy, like Kempe and Alex Laferriere is a 20-goal scorer. So there's enough there. They'll have to address the center position. But yeah, I think that was the first step. And I go down to the concourse and talk to fans during the games. I don't stay in the press box. The problem was the first 60 games, Jason, they were so boring. Oh. It was a terrible watch. It was the same script every game. I tell you, the fans are saying, like, I can't watch this. It's not worth the money. It's the one thing if you lose 4-3 or 5-4 is exciting, but every game is 1-1 after 1 and 2-2, and you lose the overtime games. They have to be able to play the current game. They have to be more entertaining. Getting Panarin is a move like that, but they're going to have to do that, and they're going to have to do something with the defense. They only have one puck mover in Brandon Clark. They're going to have to address that in the offseason as well.
What about head coach? Do you think DJ Smith stays on, or are they going to look for a different head coach in the offseason?
No, unless they rally from a 2-0 hole. Well, let's put it this way: if they win the series, you got to consider them, right? Because they're huge. They're the biggest underdog on the board. They'd have to probably go to a conference final for me to think that DJ Smith was going to stay in place. I think they're going to look at the pool of candidates and go with somebody else that will play. Because remember, he's just a leftover from the Hiller regime. He was the assistant coach.
Yeah.
And he ran the penalty kill, and penalty kill's been bad all year. So, yeah, short of a long run, which I don't see, there'll be a different man behind the bench next season. And it's got to be somebody that plays up-tempo, rush game. You can't play the passive game. This all started when Todd came in. They weren't a very good team. How do you equalize? How do you level it? You play a defensive 1-3-1 system. That started it all. It ran out of its usefulness. Now they have to change to your point. They have to evolve into the current day play. Panarin helps that, and their other wingers do too.
Dennis Bernstein joins us from the fourth period talking Kings and Avs, but also Dennis, I know obviously you follow the whole all the NHL, all the playoffs, and I'm sure Kings fans are watching like, what do you mean McDavid didn't get a point in 2 games? What the hell's going on here? So you look at the Ducks, say good for them, but honestly, like I've watched Connor McDavid for over a decade, and I've never seen him fight the puck like he did in game 2. I don't think it's sustainable. I'm not one who buys into the Ducks are doing everything great here to limit him, because I'll say this: if they continue to play Tim Washy against Connor McDavid, I'll take that matchup all day long. Like, I'm sorry. He's a rookie who, he's had a few good games. Good for him. But, I'm curious to see what Joe Quenneville's going to do in Anaheim. Because I think if he just keeps rolling that dice, eventually it's coming up snake eyes.
Yeah, I don't know what else he could do. This is their DNA this year, Jason. Like that they think they can outscore their mistakes, right? And as lots of people talk about those style, his save percentage during the season is like .889. He's not like that good. It's not going to change. When it's going to change? Well, the right side of the Ducks defense, they're all unrestricted free agents, right? So you think that's going to change. But you're right. I don't know, playing this type of hockey against the Oilers, right? You probably think, okay, well, this is the one team that you could do it against, right? But there's just too much firepower. Leon looks like the old Leon. As much as you want to criticize Connor for the first 2 games, I just think there's just too much firepower. So I think that the Oilers will come down to Southern California, get a split, probably win in 6 games. But it's a good learning experience for the Ducks. But you're right. This style of play against Edmonton, you can't do it. They have the firepower to do it, to stay in games. But to win games, to win 4 games against this team with all their experience, I don't see it happening.
Who do you like in that Dallas-Minnesota series?
Can I tell you there's 2 minutes to go in the game 7 and it's Todd? Well, look, after game 1, you thought, oh, maybe this is a different Minnesota team. But look, a brutal loss, the way they lost last night at home, the puck over the glass, too many. You can't take penalties against Dallas. It's going to come down to one guy, Jake Ottinger. Is he going to make enough saves in this series? Can he do it? If he does, they'll go on. If not, Minnesota could emerge and be a dangerous challenger for Colorado. But look, at the start, I think everybody said 7 games. When you watch the 3 games, what do you think? 7 games. So I think that a slight edge to Dallas. The one thing that hurts them is no Rupe Hintz. Maybe that's going to hurt them going forward in the series. But, flip a coin, game 7, whoever you like, I think would win that game. And that certainly would help Colorado if they do breeze through the series against LA. And
lastly, in the West, Vegas, Utah.
I loved Utah until that run by Vegas at the end of the season. They went 7-0-1 and Torts got their attention. But they went in there. They won a game in the third period. Golden Knights, you want to talk about how great a third period team they are. This is going 6 games. I lean towards the Knights because of the experience. But that building is going to be loud in Salt Lake City. I know it's loud in Edmonton for games. It's going to be loud in Salt Lake City. I think they can get that game. I just think they're a little too inconsistent and don't have the experience in the playoffs. But this is a team of the future, Utah. I think Golden Knights get this series, but it's going to be a challenge for them. It's going to be a good prep for the next round because that's a series team in Utah. It's a team on the uprise. And next season, I want to see what they do in the offseason. But so a slight lean to the Golden Knights right now.
DB, always good to catch up with you, buddy. We will talk to you again soon. Have yourself an awesome day. Enjoy the game tonight.
And maybe we'll see you in the conference final, Jason. You never know.
Never know. You never know. Oiler fans, a conference final. Wouldn't that be crazy if there's actually the Oilers?
That would be nuts. Oh, God. I couldn't stand it. All right.
Oh, be awesome. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, JG. Always a pleasure.
There you go. That's Dennis Bernstein, the fourth period in LA. Take a quick break. We'll come back. Cam Tate, wrap things up on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, the daily grind. Your chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. PlayAlberta.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
For over 50 years, The Brick has been proudly serving Canada. They love to save you more on everything you need for your home. Save up to 60% off made in Canada sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Find patio sets starting at just $99 and save up to 40% off mattresses. Plus, take 5 years to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Taxes and fees due at purchase, OAC. Visit a Brick near you for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. They may be teeny tiny, but chinch bugs can completely devastate your lawn or garden. If you have yellowing grass that doesn't improve with watering, you may already have them. At Green Drop, we'll identify them, treat them, and help you recover from the damage before it's out of control. Stop chinch bugs cold with Green Drop Lawn Care, Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Find out more and get started at greendrop.com.
Welcome back to Nissan Head to Head. Today, we've got Nissan Kicks coming in strong as a leader in fuel efficiency for gas-only CUVs. Some of the other guys respond with, wallet-breaking detour to the pumps. Hats off to Nissan's fuel-efficient Japanese engineering. Right now, finance a Nissan Kicks for 0% for 36 months. Visit nissan.ca for details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Ever had a problem returning auto parts? At Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock, we do things differently. Hi, it's Lisa, and we're proud to offer one of the best return policies in the business. When you shop with us, you buy with confidence, knowing that if it doesn't fit or if it's not the right part, we'll make it right. For nearly 50 years, Ed's Auto Salvage has helped Alberta drivers save money, stay on the roads, and shop stress-free. Trust the team that stands behind every part we sell. Visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
CTV Sundays. Television's most captivating love story continues on Sullivan's Crossing.
It's hard to focus on the present when you're still looking at the past.
But the road ahead takes an unexpected turn.
Would have thought you'd mentioned being married before.
A lot's changed since then.
Morgan Cohan and Chad Michael Murray in the drama that asks, is true love enough? An all-new Sullivan's Crossing, Sundays on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Hold on to your hockey helmets, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 69-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadian and Coors Light for $5.75. Plus, OTR's TVs are so clear, you'll see the puck better than the ref.
That ain't hard, is it?
Score and win every game night during Edmonton's playoff run with specials starting 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksYEG.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, or extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, all of our NFL fans. Of course, the draft gets going momentarily. Of course, Deck and Con, they're all in agreement. Mendoza's going number one. But after that, who knows? It's the Jets. You never know. The Jets. All you know is whoever they pick, their fans are likely going to boo. Right? Some will cheer, some will boo. That's what's going to happen. I doubt there'll be a consensus on who they like as their pick in the NFL draft. Currently number 2, or do they trade it? Maybe. Now, let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit or your furnace. Bundle them together, saving more. LegacyHeating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy, is in a wheelchair. He's never let him slow him down. Tater's a great inspiration, continues working, always wanted to be in radio, and now through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Ah, the Edmonton Oilers. A team that, like the city they call home, is built on grit, resilience, and the eternal hope that tomorrow will be better than today. And yet, as I sit here, trying to untangle the Gordian knot of emotions that Game 2 has left us with, I find myself wrestling with a feeling I can't quite shake. A feeling that the Oilers, bluntly, are in a heap of trouble. Now, I'm in the minority, big time. See, we ran an X poll asking if you think the Oilers will bounce back Friday night in Orange County. 80%. They said yes. 20%, including me, said no. This morning on the Kevin Karius show, I said as much. I said it plainly, without varnish or sugarcoating. The Oilers, heading into Game 3 of this best-of-7 series against the Ducks, are lucky, damn lucky, to have one win. And while some might dismiss Game 2 as just one game in a long series, I can't help but feel it was more than that. It was a harbinger, an omen, if you will. There was something eerie about it, something unsettling. Connor McDavid, the wunderkind, the generational talent, the player who has carried this team on his back more times than we can count, was held off the score sheet. And while some have spun this as a negative story about McDavid, I'll debate that all week and twice on Sunday. No, this isn't a story about failure. It's a story about expectation, about the weight of being not just a player, but a symbol, a beacon of hope for an entire city. McDavid is special. He's one of a kind. And when he doesn't record a point, it's not a failure. It's newsworthy. It's a reminder of just how much we've come to rely on him, how much we've come to expect the extraordinary from him every single night. But I wonder, does he feel it too? The weight of those expectations? The pressure of a city that lives and dies with every shift, every pass, every shot. And dare I say it, does he hear the clock? That faint, insistent ticking that grows louder with every loss, with every missed opportunity. Does he wonder, as we all do, what the future holds? Does he ask himself the unthinkable question, will he stay in Edmonton? Now, I know, I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe I'm underestimating McDavid. Maybe I'm underestimating the Oilers. Maybe Game 3 will be a revelation, a turning point, a moment when this team rises to the occasion and proves us all wrong. I sincerely hope that's the case. I hope I'm wrong, very wrong. 2-minute warning. Gregor, Hallie, Kruger, who told me he's never, ever, never been wrong. And by golly, I believe him. I'm Cam Tate, Sports 1440.
Probably true. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey guys, for the first time in a while, I don't agree with Tater. I love this part of your show. Keep it up. That one comes from JB. Well, JB, that was a good run. Even Tater would say if we all agreed every day, it'd be boring. So there you go. You look at it, hey, he's right about a lot of things. McDavid has been a beacon of hope for a long time. And I think it's difficult for lots of people to say, hey, Connor McDavid's got to be better. So it's like, oh, no, they're getting out coached or this. No. The Oilers, I firmly believe, I'm not going to change my opinion on who I picked to win the series because they lose one game. It doesn't make sense to me, especially in the fashion they lost the game. I'm just there are certain narratives trying to be that I'm just I can't for a second believe people, it's got to get him away from the fourth line. What? Tim Washy's the guy you're worried about? No offense to Tim. Good for him, what he's done. But if you want to keep doing that, I will gladly say, give me that matchup. Let's do it. Like, come on. All day, every day is what I would be doing. So, I don't see much of a problem with it at all. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the series. 97 and number 2 of your top 3 players, they need to be better. Start there. Penalty kills got to be better. Like, Ingram, I didn't hate his game in game 2. Probably, maybe goal 1, you would say, hey, that's one you'd like. Sure. But he's not the main culprit. Their power play's got to be better. And, which kind of falls hand in hand with 97 and 2 being better. When your best players are better, you win games. It's just that simple. All right, hey, who was the leading scorer on the Ducks this year, Connor Halley? Cutter Gauthier.
Cutter, yeah.
What did he do in game 1? Nothing. What did he do in game 2? Scored 2 goals, and guess what? They won. You have a better chance when your better players are better. For any team in the league. It's just how it goes. So I don't worry about it. Hey, Greg, I saw Bouchard was on for 5 goals against last night. Has that ever happened before? Yes, multiple times. There's lots of guys being on the ice for 5 goals against in a game. Not the first, won't be the last for the Oilers. We got some scoring tonight. Connor Halley will update you in our Sports 1440 update as it brought to you by Fountain Tire. Stop in Fountain Tire. When they're on the road together, they meet it. From tires, wheels, oil changes, repairs, and more, FountainTire.com, your one-stop shop.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
3 games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. After 20 minutes, Sabres and Bruins are scoreless midway through the first. Sens trail the Kings 1-0. Logan Stankoven with his 3rd of the playoffs later tonight. Kings and Avs from Los Angeles, Colorado up 2-0 in that one. The Raptors will try to get back into their series this evening. They host the Cavs. Tip off 10 minutes. They trail 2-0 in the second quarter. Out in Atlanta, Hawks lead the Knicks 44-34. And later on tonight, Nuggets and Timberwolves meeting in Minnesota. That series tied at a game each. Major League Baseball, Red Sox up on the Yankees 2-1 at the top of the 7th. Yankees do have the bases loaded with 2 outs. We also got the Mets on top of the Twins 3-1 in the bottom of the 2nd. Later tonight, Rangers, Pirates. Earlier today, Braves over the Nationals by a score of 7-2. Tigers knocked off the Brewers 5-4. Phillies fall to the Cubs 8-7. Padres over the Rockies 10-8. White Sox knocked off the Diamondbacks 4-1. And the Dodgers blank the Giants 3-0. In the AHL playoffs tonight, Condors hosting Coachella Valley. Game 1 pucked up just after 8 o'clock. And in about 10 minutes' time, the NFL draft kicks off. The Las Vegas Raiders on the clock, expected to select quarterback Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston.